One night, one building, one last dance at the Lobster Tank. The final home game of the regular season is here, and the Athens Rock Lobsters are looking to finish what they started last night, a statement sweep over the reigning champions. Good evening, Crustacean Nation, and welcome to a massive Thursday night showdown at Akins Ford Arena as the first-place Athens Rock Lobsters take on the first-place Binghamton Black Bears, Continental and Empire, in the back half of a two-game series. I'm Matt Rad, and whether you're joining us on YouTube 98.7 FM or AM 1340 WGAU, we are so glad to have you with us as we close out an unforgettable home slate. If you haven't already, like the stream, hit subscribe, and ring the bell to stay locked in for the postseason ahead. Last night was the kind of game that makes you believe. Athens knocked off the defending Commissioners Cup champions 4-3 in regulation behind a Kaysen Gallant hat trick, a highlight reel finish from Avery Smith, and a team-wide effort that saw the Lobsters hold off a furious third-period push from one of the league's elite. Binghamton made things interesting with 3 power play goals, including 2 with their net empty, but Athens showed poise, physicality, and championship-caliber composure. Now, with emotions high and the playoffs fast approaching, the Rock Lobsters will try to send Crustacean Nation home with one final win at Akins Ford Arena in the regular season. And a message to the rest of the league: this tank is a fortress. Let's check out our fan saves impact players of the game. For the Black Bears, they'll look to Austin Thompson for an even bigger contribution tonight. He logged a goal and an assist last night as Bingo made things nervy for Athens late on in the game. He is one of just 7 players in the FPHL with 30-plus goals this season. For the Rock Lobsters, it's Kaysen Gallant, who became the first ever Rock Lobster to register multiple hat tricks. He comes into the night leading the FPHL in goals with 38. Behind him are Tyson Kirkby and Garrett Milan in second place, tied with 35. The FanSaves Impact Players segment is brought to you by FanSaves. Download the FanSaves app and follow the Athens Rock Lobsters for exclusive digital coupons and deals. We still have not gotten the starting 5 for head coach Steve Martinson tonight, so we will find out with you guys here on the broadcast after this upcoming commercial break. The team physician, however, is provided by Piedmont Athens Regional. His name is Dr. Alec Graff. And the Akins Ford engine starters are brought to you by Akins Ford, Georgia's biggest and best Ford dealership. That concludes the Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show. Piedmont, real change lives here. It's Athens, it's Binghamton. It's the final home game of the regular season. Let's finish it the way we started it, together. More hockey after this.
At Athens Stonecasting, Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds. Endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core convictions we live by. Learn more about what we stand for at firstamericanishere.com. First American Bank and Trust.
UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing.
You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
No doubt a huge night tonight for the Athens Rock Lobsters, just like it was last night. And here they come to the ice to a big roar here from all the crustaceans watching here in the stands of the tank. Rock Lobsters coming off of that 4-3 win, a game in which they had a 3-0 and a 4-1 lead at one point, but power play goals were basically the boogeyman for them last night. They will have to stay disciplined if they want to try and secure 2 against the league's best. Rock Lobsters handed the Black Bears just their 6th regulation loss this season and only the 2nd against a Continental Division team. Here come the starters, and no shock here, the man who logged a hat trick last night, Kaysen Gallant, is in the starting 5. And when you look for Kaysen Gallant and you find him, you'll never see Philip Virgili too far away. Malik Johnson rounds out this forward trio. Now we await to see who's on the defensive pair and in net. 2 Swedes in the starting 5 tonight. Adam Osha had a really good game last night, but the kind of quiet game you like to see from a defenseman. Not too many mistakes for him. He's back from suspension. Michael Greco, also you'll be able to hear from him tonight in the second intermission through our Lobster Tail segment. The Rock Lobsters go back to William Lavalier, and why not? He had a tremendous performance last night. A game in which he saved 39 shots. And if it wasn't for Lavalier, it could have been a lot more ugly of a result for Athens. Now it's time for the national anthem. National anthem tonight will be sung by Trey Lee Orndorff. They're starting to rise to their feet here at Akins Ford Arena. Got a couple of ceremonial puck drops after that. Here is the national anthem from Trey Lee Orndorff. Beautiful rendition of our nation's anthem. And now we've got a couple of ceremonial puck drops that will take place out on the ice. Carter Shinkarik and Tyson Kirkby, 2 of the league's best this year. They will be on either side of our first puck dropper. Starting with Casey Johansson from Dalton Carpet One Floor and Home, our game sponsor for the night. And an interesting story coming up on our next puck drop here. Coming out of the opening in the glass in the corner is Marie Johnson and her dad, Don Jesweek. A very, very special story in which Marie donated her kidney to her father, Don. even when it's your own family member, a big sacrifice, but so easy when it's your own father, and very happy to hear that they both have lived healthy and fulfilling lives. Both of them diehard Rock Lobster fans as well. Hopefully the Rock Lobsters give them one to remember here tonight. They dropped the ceremonial puck drop, but the real thing is coming up in just a moment. The Rock Lobsters against the Binghamton Black Bears. Right now, the Rock Lobsters are trying to make sure that they have a winning record against almost every team. The only team that they do not have a winning record against this season are the Port Huron Prowlers, who they are 2-2 against. (17 against 17 at the center of the ice. Virgili against Kirkby. We are underway in a Thursday night tussle between the top team in the Continental Division and the top team in the Empire. The Binghamton Black Bears with some sustained pressure early on in the offensive zone against the Rock Lobsters, but Virgili will take it away. A nice little move behind his own net as he emerges on the right side of Lavalier. Johnson will dump it in, trying to send himself on a route towards the end boards, lays a hit, but doesn't have the puck come with him. Kingston Gallant tries to cast a spell on that biscuit, can't take it away, but the Rock Lobsters will count on him for goals as this season progresses into the postseason, leading the FPHL in goals scored with 38. Could he potentially find 40 on the year? Will be interesting to see. Oja, no-look pass. Banker to Michael Greco. Behind the net, up the right side for Kingston Gallant. Tilt-a-whirl pass up toward the other blue line. Stopped there by Jesse Anderson. Big hit from Michael Greco, but staying on his feet was Nicholas Swain. Centering pass. No go there from Binghamton. A turnaround shot from Gavin Yates wide of the mark. Now having it at the blue line is Nicholas Swain. Swain out to the left circle, centering pass, goes all the way back to Anderson. Jesse Anderson up the right side into the right circle and wheeling around the offensive zone and scoring is Gavin Yates. They couldn't find the lead in the game last night, but they have one here at just a minute 17 seconds in. Gavin Yates with his 20th of the year, a two-time former FPHL playoff MVP. First shot of the goal in the game, I'm pretty sure about that. Yates with an assist last night. He opens up the scoring in this one, and now the Rock Lobsters have to play from behind for the first time in this two-game series. Milan with a clean draw, back to Murray. Murray was someone who wanted a little piece of everyone last night. We'll see if that progresses the same way into tonight. Milan trying to get past Poirier, who draws into the lineup. Papa Petros back up for Milan. Orca Weisblatt in the far corner. Papa Petros at the line. Troy Murray on the left side of the blue. Nice little shot fire then from Daniil Glukaryov, but a great save from C.J. Hapward, who gets the start tonight. The goaltender who's on a rookie prospect deal out of college. Played for Colby College. Ooh, a great pass out into the front of the net, but Dale Dion can't stop it. Daniil Glukaryov not giving up on this one at all. Takes it away from Poirier. Fighting him off with a stiff arm. Centering pass just misses Weisblatt. Taken away initially by Stubbs, but Weisblatt wins it back before spilling in front of his own bench. Both teams will make changes. Picard through his legs off the penalty box boards. Back into the Binghamton zone for Daniel Stone, who leads the FPHL in plus-minus. Cole Atarsi, backhand sweeper out to the far side. Shinkarik didn't know much about it. Looks like Shanks is getting deployed as a forward once again. Like a coil waiting to come loose here are the Black Bears in the offensive zone. Good poke check from Picard. Smith will leave it for him. Picard, nice little foray towards the net, got caught up there on Dakota Bond, and then taken away by Stone. Oja able to avoid two Black Bears before taking the puck into the zone. Good save there from Hapward. Got the blocker up as Oja's shot was heading towards the net right under the bar. Already we're seeing both teams lay hits early on. We knew that these were two very, very physical teams. We saw it last night as well. But I'm curious if we're going to see a little bit more claws dropped tonight as well. Here's the goal scorer, Gavin Yates, finding a pass out to the right side for Nicholas Swain, who misses over the bar. That one's into the netting, and the clock will stop with 16:22 left in the first. As we mentioned, the Rock Lobsters playing from behind for the first time in this two-game set. The goal scored by Gavin Yates, his 20th of the year. Shots on goal in favor of the visitors as well, 3-2. The Rock Lobsters, no stranger to playing from behind, especially as of late. The first period has not really been their best period over the last few weeks. This is the final of 9 straight home games, and obviously the last home game of the regular season. There will indeed be home playoff games here at Akins Ford Arena. We'll tell you a little bit more about that later. 16:22 left in the first. Milan lined up for the draw here, and he wins it. Papapetros back around. Murray can't get there. Centering pass was a heck of a dangerous one from a Binghamton perspective. Lavalier will cover it up. Believe it was Blake Tosto who got loose out in front of Lavalier and sent a stinging shot his way that Lavalier is able to stop. Lavalier, 13 games for Athens this season. He's been a good omen for the Rock Lobsters. He's yet to lose in regulation, but the Binghamton Black Bears looking to put an end to that run tonight. 12 wins and 1 overtime loss for Lavi in this campaign as a Rock Lobster. Papapetros looking to settle things down a little bit. He's someone who's such a patient skater, and he pokes it ahead for himself. Papapetros' left circle shot was loose for a minute right over the pads, and now Milan pushing and shoving. He's getting it from either side, and now there's a group collective behind the net of Hapward. Couple of bodies down on the ice. Glukariov has a handle on 2 who are down on the ice right now. Glukariov showing the Russian cyborg strength. Looks like he'll sit for it. Milan still getting involved here with Dan Weber. 2 guys getting in on Milan, and Daniil Glukariov showing how good of a protector he is there. Glukariov will definitely sit. We just saw Powell there with a push on Weber. Is Weber getting escorted to the box too? Looks like he is. Believe this will go as offsetting roughings here. We'll see if we can get any confirmation of that. The 2 captains, Carter Shinkarik and Tyson Kirkby, awaiting answers in front of the penalty box. We're going to take a quick commercial break. No idea what's coming, if it's a power play, a penalty kill, or 4-on-4. Might be 5-on-5. Stay with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. The Binghamton Black Bears lead 1-0 on the goal from Yates.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Daniil Glukariov and Garrett Milan have been issued penalties. The one that will count for a Binghamton Black Bear power play will be the one to Glukariov. So it'll be 2 minutes of 5-on-4 for the Black Bears as the Rock Lobsters go to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. They were repeat offenders last night, no doubt. They need to have a little bit more strong, skilled, strategic defense. Maybe they need to call Leslie Jones Law. 3 goals scored by Binghamton last night. All three came on the power play for Bingo. 4-man PK unit for the Rock Lobsters of Philip Virgili, Malik Johnson, Carter Shinkarik, and Michael Greco. Out of the joust comes the puck for Bingo. Ease to Kirkby behind the goal line, back to the right circle for Yates. He's already scored one in this one. Back pass to Dakota Bond. Bond works his way to the left side of the slot, sends a shot that gets blocked out in front. Bond now working out of the corner, able to find a passing partner in Jesse Anderson, poked to the line for Yates. Yates, the difference maker in this one, made the game 1-0. Centering pass. Dangerously off the skate of Johnson. Shinkarik attempts to clear it out, stopped by the glove of Bond at the blue line. Here's Bond again. Rides the left boards with a pass. Consistently exchanging with Stubbs. Shinkarik with a sprawl. Shot still came in on Lavalier. But Philip Virgili going to be able to clear his half of the ice. A couple of cross checks between him and Thompson there. Oja gets a step ahead of Kirkby. That's where you want to be if you're a defenseman. Pinballing all around the zone before the shot came in. 2 saves from Lavalier back to back. Next shot missed and rode the boards all the way back to the neutral ice. Recollected by Cameron Clark. Pass out to the right for Yates. Yates has shown a lot more of his stick handling skill tonight. 30 seconds left on the penalty to Glukaryov. Centering pass out of the corner, loose out in front. Weisblatt takes it through the skates of Clark. Athens can't clear it out. High slot shot. What a save there with the glove from Lavalier as Austin Thompson had a clear angle on the cage. Lavalier stopping this game from becoming a 2-0 Binghamton lead. 14 minutes and 8 seconds left in the first. The Rock Lobsters playing from behind the first time in this series. We go to a commercial break. Stay tuned with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Briefly, we're going to pause for station identification. WGAU and W254 CJ Athens, 98.7 FM and AM 1340 WGAU.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. Keeping the Black Bears out on the power play was something that was difficult for the Rock Lobsters to do last night, and they're not out of the fire yet here on the first power play for Binghamton in this game. 16 seconds left on the infringement from Daniil Glukaryov. Be an offensive zone face-off. Tosto against Virgili. Athens initially winning the face-off, but a good forecheck here from Swain. Tight angle shot comes from the right side as Stefan gets his effort saved by Lavalier. Just a few seconds in between the two faceoffs. Tosto and Virgili will do it again. Virgili, good push through on the faceoff circle, ends up getting it himself off the boards. Malik Johnson from the right side will send it down the length of the ice, stopped by Hapward in the trapezoid. Both teams now back at even strength. Gallant wins it back in the neutral ice. Virgili takes it over the left side of the line. Malik Johnson, a little bit of pirouette from him. He gets taken down on the ice, got sandwiched in between two Black Bears, and now it's taken away by Swain. Swain getting his sights crossed there with Tosto. Hapward asking for the icing. He's not going to get it. Johnson got a tip to it right past the red line. But here come the Black Bears storming the other direction. Steffen out to the left for Swain. He gets edged out. Malik Johnson out to the left for Virgili. Virgili has Gallant on the far side. No doubt those two always have chemistry with one another. Virgili always looking for Gallant and vice versa. But he just missed him with a pass there, and Greco has just knocked Jesse Anderson into the boards on the bench. And it looks like we're going to have another penalty going against Athens. The Rock Lobsters have to play a smarter game here. They cannot bite on any of the mind tricks that Binghamton might try to play in this one. There is a reason why the Black Bears have the #1 power play in the FPHL. And it's because of the firepower of their individual talent that they have. Michael Greco will sit for 2, sending the Black Bears back to the man advantage and the Rock Lobsters back to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. It all happened away from the puck. I think something was initially done to Athens that wasn't seen by the referees, and Greco retaliated. But if the referees can't see it, they can't call it. A little bit of a pause here before the power play starts. It looks like the referee talking to Lavalier about something. Perhaps there's something wrong with the mask of Lavalier. He's got the mask back on, having just put it back on. Just a little bit more than 7 minutes gone in this one. Goal scored by Gavin Yates. First goal scored at even strength by the Black Bears over the 2 games. Bunch of players tied up on the faceoff circle. Glukaryov came away with it, but was stopped at the line by Yates. Shinkarik trying to tie up Kirkby on the far side. Puck comes loose for Bond. Bond up the left for Clark. Back to Bond, the Saginaw, Michigan native. Left side of the circle is Cameron Clark. In behind the goal line on the left side. Austin Thompson to the right. Yates gets quickly edged out by Carter Shinkarik. Loose touch of the puck there from Bond, but he's able to recover and send it around. Kolacharski pushing to try and get there. The Rock Lobsters can't clear their lines. Adam Oja turns it and sends it out. First time in nearly 50 seconds that the Rock Lobsters were able to get the puck out, and now they send it down 200 feet. Bond, loose pass there, but Yates was able to make the read on it. Now he's being chased down in his own zone by Malik Johnson. Johnson now has his sights set on Bond. It's hard off the glass all the way around. There to meet it will be C.J. Stubbs. Takes a couple poke checks from Papa Petros. Nice little kick there from Papa Petros. Gets it to Malik Johnson. Papa Petros, he was described by head coach Steve Martinson as a heady guy. No doubt showing his IQ there, his hockey IQ on that defensive play with a kick. Lavalier from the trapezoid. He'll deal with it himself. Picked back up by Stone. Do they have one last rush here on the man advantage? Stone leading the charge here. Takes it from coast to coast. Pass out to the left side. Tight angle shot. Maybe it was a centering pass. It's through the crease. But now it sends the Rock Lobsters with speed the other way as they're back at even strength. Weisblatt tries to leave it for Shinkarik. Miscommunication there, and now Swain will try to benefit for it. Shots on goal in favor of the Black Bears, 10-3. We're steadily approaching the halfway mark of this first period. The Rock Lobsters still trying to find their offensive fluidity, but that's tough when you've already dealt with your second PK of the night. Loose off the skate of Robertson. Then he tries to go through Yates. Avery Smith, he opened the scoring last night with a beauty. Can his line mate Brandon Picard follow suit? Instead, Picard loses the puck and then lays the hit on Sirota in behind the net. Picked back up by Shinkarik in front of his bench. His pass gets blocked out by Ramakers, who's back in the lineup tonight. Yates, good work with a stick there to protect that puck and keep it at the line. Poirier misses all the way to the far side. Picked back up by Anderson. Tight angle shot. Ramakers tries to put it between his own legs with the backhander towards Lavalier. Yates will release, blocked by Smith. Backhand feed to Picard on the far side. Picard will try and send anything towards Hapward. First time that he's seen a shot to save in quite some time. Good win back by Glukariov, but that possession lasts only seconds. Dangerous play there from Jesse Anderson, the alternate captain, as he tried to stick handle right in front of Hapward's net. However, the rookie goaltender has not had nearly as much to do in this game as Lavalier has, and the Black Bears are showing that on the scoreboard with their 1-0 lead. It's Gavin Yates who has scored the lone goal. The Rock Lobsters trying to equalize this game. Let's see if they do that in the first after this commercial break.
Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
At Athens Stonecasting, Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds, endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core.
Sorry to cut that advertisement from First American Bank and Trust. It's a new one. We want to show it off for our good partners of the show and of the team, First American Bank and Trust. But we're back in action here at Akins Ford Arena. Kirkby tries to ease that towards Lavalier's net. It's sent a long distance towards Malik Johnson, but he just about loses the race at the faceoff dot. Faceoff will get sent back towards the Rock Lobsters zone. A big thank you to all 444 of you watching right now. If you haven't already, make sure you like the stream, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to play a part of our world-famous chat, and also ring the bell to stay notified of all future Rock Lobsters content. You're watching the Athens Rock Lobster Network, the only place you can find this kind of content. It's helped up the right side by Thompson. Malik Johnson will stop the trajectory of that puck and then take it away. He's seeing a path of ice out in front of him, send it into the corner. Gallant waves off. Johnson will try and take it himself, but Stone is a strong defenseman indeed. Oh my goodness, what a hit there from Greco. Went out of his way there, no doubt, I believe, to lay the hit on Kirkby. Papa Petros. Right in on Hapward. Good forecheck from Glukariov. Pinning Dale Dion into the boards. Dion, two-time SPHL champion. Murray from the left side, off the inboards, picked back up by Anderson. Up the right side, Papa Petros with a step up. It's poked off of him by Yates, who takes it away. All the danger has come from Yates so far in this game, but he loses possession. Kept in the offensive zone by Anderson, who one-times a shot into the glove of Lavalier. Only one other game tonight in the FPHL as the Monroe Moccasins take on the Columbus River Dragons in the Monroe Civic Center. Rock Lobsters will close out the regular season next weekend in Columbus. Carter Shinkarik back on faceoffs. Shinkarik gets kicked out of the faceoff circle. Faceoff taken quite some time here. Luckily, Smith is very proficient on the draw as well. It's won by the Black Bears, however. Working out of the corner, good centering feed to Sirota, but he gets muscled off the puck. Rock Lobsters finding it a lot more difficult to find possession in the Binghamton half as opposed to last night. Smith with a push in behind on Sirota. Shot came in. It was blocked by Shinkarik, but off of his back. He was looking for it. Wraparound attempt. Anderson. Lavalier just about got there. Beautiful move there from Shinkarik to get it onto the backhand. Collision there between Kolatarsi and Sirota. Kirkby wanted that puck bad at the blue line, but now they have to regroup at the neutral ice as they were offsides. Gallant kicks it to himself. Gallant to the left for Virgili. Rock Lobsters need to find some sustained possession here in enemy territory. Stubbs over the neutral ice onto the other side. Greco with a banker off the glass toward Oja, who jousts for it with C.J. Stubbs. Virgili back for Oja. Shots on goal heavily in favor of Binghamton, 14-6, and they win it back in the trapezoid. Centering pass. Not sure if it ever reached Lavalier off the stick of Stubbs. Virgili with the reverse there on Kirkby. Left circle. C.J. Stubbs back around for Bond. Slap on the one-timer. Kolatarsi pokes it, pops up there on Stone, gets it back for Kirkby. Kirkby just trying to put it in the Boilermaker there. Philip Virgili takes it down with a glove. Just misses Gallant with the pass. Gallant on the near side. Just about gets that puck loose into the corner as he'll go off for a change. Murray in the corner. Taken out. Away from the right side. Good shot from Tosto. Pad save from Lavalier, and the Rock Lobsters deal with a rebound. Powell with a win back at the line. Raylyn Robertson asking in the chat, do you know who our scratches are tonight? I believe the scratches are Zinchenko, Garcia, and Alden. Left circle shot right over the bar from Yates. Murray rides the glass with a pass. Powell unable to find it, but it drops at the feet of Orko Weisblatt. Glukarioff loses possession to Poirier. Good move from Yates. He's down to a knee, gets back up, but the puck is no longer there. Ooh, that shot came up high on Papa Petros. Not looking any worse from Ware, though. Taking it west to east. Tried the shot, tight angle. Brandon Picard, all he needed was a touch on it. Then Kolatarsi from the near side fires a shot into the glove of the college rookie C.J. Hapward. We're going to another commercial break. It's Claw Cam here at Akins Ford Arena We'll be back with more first period hockey here at Akins Ford after this commercial break.
When you're the leader, disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
This thing on? Perfect.
Big rise of the Claws here at Akins Ford. Fans still filing in here to the arena. It's ended up being a pretty nice crowd here at Akins Ford for the last regular season ride here at the tank, trying to send the home fans happy one last time before the playoffs make their way into town. Shinkarik wins the draw. Smith helps it to the line for Kolatarsi. It's off the stick of Sirota, bounces down in the far corner. Smith getting in behind on Anderson there. Anderson, a couple of great moves to get it out of that zone for the Black Bears. Kolatarsi will help keep it into the neutral zone, picked back up by Riley Robertson, and we've got a whistle. Oh, interesting there. It looked like the Black Bears avoided the offside, but were unable to avoid the icing. Three minutes and 36 seconds left. Lavalier has been by far the busier goaltender in this one, and with the young rookie in net for the Black Bears, you want to try and challenge him a little bit more than the Rock Lobsters have through the first 16 plus. 14 against 14 on the faceoff. Stefan against Shinkarik. Kolatarsi with a one-timer. Toenail save there from Hapward. Kolatarsi hard off the boards. It must have took a piece of somebody on the Rock Lobster bench because we have a whistle. Athens Rock Lobsters fell behind for the first time in this series. They're still behind. Just a minute and 17 seconds in did Gavin Yates score the opener. Faceoff being moved to the neutral zone to the left of Lavalier. It'll still be Stefan and Shinkarik on the faceoff. Shinkarik pirouettes around the circle, able to give Stefan his back and make sure that the Rock Lobsters come away with the puck, but it's won back once again by the Black Bears, but the whistle will come as it's played down with a high stick. Three minutes and 14 seconds left, which will bring a pop out of our fans who love irrational numbers. A chant of "Let's Go Lobsters" emerging around the tank here. Stefan and Shinkarik do the face-off again. This time it's the former who wins the draw. Robertson pokes it away from Stefan, bounces down in front of Smith, helped back into the corner towards Stefan, taken away again by Smith. Smith tries to split the ice with a pass, doesn't find his line mates, however. Weber behind, takes a check from Picard. That puck got tied up with the linesman. Smith able to settle it down. Smith That one hit Anderson up high. He takes it down off of the chest and away over the neutral ice. Anderson will take it in himself, unable to beat Oja in the foot race. 2.5 minutes left of this first period. The Rock Lobsters looking for an equalizer, and they've been on the search for one since the first minute and 17 seconds of this game had passed. Virgili over to the left side. Virgili left the puck in behind, able to regather. One-timer in from Oja, wide and high of the mark. Greco almost stopped it before it went back into neutral ice. He'll whistle it back in as there's 2 minutes left in the first. It bounced away from Stubbs, sent in by Virgili. He was a couple steps in front, or rather behind the red line. So an icing goes the way of the Binghamton Black Bears, and the face-off goes the way of the Rock Lobsters. We're officially into the final 2 minutes of play here in the first period. It was a first period that was scoreless last night. The Rock Lobsters were able to explode in the second period, in which they scored 2 goals about 36 seconds apart. Bond up the left side, looking for a deflection out in front. Turnaround one-timer there from Thompson. Lavalier saw the whole way. It remains a busy, busy period for William Lavalier. That is save number 16 of the first 20. Broken stick on the ice. When Junk South sees a broken stick, they want you to think about them. Call 855-RIP-JUNK to have Junk South take care of your junk today. Face-off won by Virgili, but he almost inadvertently set up Stubbs out of the draw. Saved at the line here from Thompson. The Black Bears have just rained down pressure here on the Rock Lobsters through the first 20. I think Athens wouldn't mind if they're able to weather the storm and go into the first intermission with a 1-0 disadvantage. Kaysen Gallant was bearing down in on Hapward's net. And Greco was getting in the face of Tyson Kirkby outside your screen. And it looks like the Rock Lobsters will go to their first Paloma Park power play of the night. As Tyson Kirkby will sit for 2 minutes. It's coming at a good time here as the Rock Lobsters can score a goal, tie this game up, and give themselves some momentum going in the second. Either way, it's a win-win because either you score a goal here to tie it up before the first ends, or you start the second with a power play. All the way around and out from Binghamton. Kukarioff dangles at the line. Centering pass was looking for Gallant, poked away by Steffen. Milan has to get on his bike and edge out Steffen, and he does. Good play there from Milan. Also has the vision to find Gallant right over the line, but Daniel Stone takes it away. Blake Tosto with a breakaway, follows up his own rebound and scores. Not how you want to start your first power play of the night. They give up the shorthanded break, and the Black Bears will take a 2-0 lead in this one. That's a good early birthday gift for Tosto. He turns 26 tomorrow, his 5th of the season and his 10th point as he'll reach double digits. He's just back into this Binghamton team. Yesterday made his first appearance since November 23rd for Binghamton, having played 39 games on loan to the Pensacola Ice Flyers, a team that the Rock Lobsters know all too well. There's still a chance here to do something on the power play. The Rock Lobsters need to lift their head. Orca Weisblatt lifts his head, lifts the puck over the line. Puck spills out. Weisblatt with a shot on the edge of the left circle. That's probably the biggest save that Hapworth's had to make tonight. Very, very unfortunate. We were talking about how the Rock Lobsters might see the benefit of getting out of this first period. With it being just a 1-0 game, they go then on the power play. They give you some hope, and then now they're down 2. Papa Petros out of it. Tremendous glove save there with Hapworth. Getting it into the oven mitt on the shot from the Athenian anchor. Still some shimmering hope here in the first period. Milan with a face-off win. Weisblatt to Papa Petros. Clock's not running here on the board. Kirkby knows it, and he's trying to show the referees here. Should be the end of the first period. Don't know what decision they'll make here. Everyone kind of looking at one another here. Referee has to separate Orca Weisblatt and CJ Stubbs. Lavalier's going. He was going to the off-ice official, said something, not sure what it was. Looks like the decision will be to just end the first period here. The Binghamton Black Bears treated to a chorus of boos as they leave the ice. The Athens Rock Lobsters playing from behind for the first time in this series. The early goal was a tough one to take, no doubt, but then the Rock Lobsters have a power play late on in the first, and they give up the shorthanded break, which was scored by Tosto. Goals from Yates and Tosto as what has created this 2-0 scoreline going into the first intermission. No doubt this was a series that everyone had circled on their calendars. But head coach Steve Martinson, he always treats every game just like he treats every other game. And we had a chance to talk about that very notion in our Coach's Corner for this weekend. Here is my chat with head coach Steve Martinson.
Hey there, Crustacean Nation, and welcome back to another Coach's Corner here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. At the time of recording, the team is coming off of a 3-game sweep of the Baton Rouge Zydeco. The team is currently in the number 1 spot in the Continental Division and is going into a really exciting 2-game matchup against the top team in the Empire Division and reigning FPHL Commissioner's Cup champions, the Binghamton Black Bears. I'm Mattine Rad, and I'm joined as always by head coach Steve Martinson. Coach Marty, to have a chance to end the season top of the Continental Division, those 3 games against Baton Rouge were almost of a must-win status. Was that a pressure that you and the team felt at all?
Well, we were playing for first in our division. That's one thing that's one of our goals. And unfortunately, we don't play, you've heard me say it, we don't play Carolina. So we can't, it's not, you have to now we're in complete control of it. As long as we win out, they can't catch us. So unfortunately, we don't play them head to head enough. It's a 5-hour difference. Why we're not playing them, is a whole different ball game. But anyway, we're back in control of first in the division, and it can mean a lot in the playoffs because you get home ice in the first round and the second round.
It was 3 games where we saw different personnel come in and out, and also everyone really had kind of consistent performances. With the depth that you have and also the performance from last weekend, is your team making it difficult for you to know who your best 18 guys are?
Well, part of it is you're going with the guys that are hot. I mean, we were trying to get a third line that, I don't want to say a third line. We're trying to get another line that was scoring. And obviously we got that Sunday. So those guys are going back. And, Bo has just been out of the lineup for a long time, and he's a little bit rusty, and he's got to practice more. He practiced about 4 or 5 days. And so, it's very competitive to be in the lineup, and that's one of the things that, if you want to have a team that wins in the playoffs, you got to have depth.
It's not only about what guys are getting picked, but also who's getting played where, especially with the depth of defensemen that you have right now. Carter Shinkarik, Kyle Powell, Troy Murray were all blue liners that we saw deployed at forward some point during the weekend. Going forward, 4 games left, and then the playoffs, results matter now more than ever. Is versatility going to have to be the most important quality for the guys to have to keep a spot?
I think it's more performance based. We've got one of the reasons that Carter went up to center is he was a center his whole life. He only switched to defense a couple years ago, and Carter likes to carry the puck. So, he likes to play defense, but he also looked at the depth of our team, and we just said, hey, let's try this. And he was frustrated at times throughout the weekend, but I think he was happy by the end of the weekend, on how that lineup, performed. And like I said, going into the playoffs and beating the top teams in the league, we got to get scoring, and we've got to get all our lines got to outplay the other lines. We just can't count on it. And you saw that, on Sunday night, Phil's line wasn't having a big night. And those guys have carried us at times. Garrett's line, but typically both those lines are carrying the team, offensively. And so it was a great opportunity for, Carter's line to step up in the third period and make some plays and get some goals. And that's what we were looking for.
Do you feel like sending Shanks from the blue line to center, does that give you more of an opportunity? I know you always say you don't like to call lines first line, second line, third line.
Yeah.
Sending Shanks to forward, does that give you more of an opportunity to balance all of your talent on 3 lines?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. And you're really ultimately trying to win the game. If you have to stack a line to win the game, you stack a line. If you can spread out the scoring and spread out the depth, and win games, I prefer to do that. But number one priority is to win the game. So, but I know that we needed to get, it's easier to win games if you have 3 lines that are consistently scoring goals. And I know, from historically speaking, sometimes you can get a line that doesn't have a good night, especially in a short, like we're dealing with, best of 3s. And, a goaltender, we've seen it. We had games with Blue Ridge where we took 86 shots and didn't score a goal. So, in a small series, a goalie can really step up, and you need to have, you need to take advantage of all your chances. So the more chances you get, the better off you are. So I like our depth now. And then the other thing, we were so deep at defense. If Carter stays at D, we're sitting out multiple defensemen that can help the team. So that becomes a really, really competitive situation too. I could activate Orca tonight, and, he's been one of our top forwards, but he hasn't skated much, and he'll probably go in tomorrow night. But it's just a situation now where, you get bumped out of the lineup for any reason, injury or whatever. And there's guys that are going, and Stafura stepped up and, made some plays. And so it's just gotten more competitive.
We'll talk about Andrew Moore in just a second as well. But going back to that first game, it was the only one that came down to a wire. I was hoping that maybe you could give us an explanation of what was one of the most confusing plays I've seen this season. There's pushing and shoving in our offensive zone during the third period, guys tying each other up. Baton Rouge with odd numbers other way go and score to make it 4-3, and it gets waved off. We kept waiting for a whistle. We never heard one in the booth. Was there a whistle that happened that we couldn't?
So there is a rule that the referee, if he was intending to blow the whistle and he didn't, and you'll see it in getting goals that get waved off where the whistle hasn't blown yet, and it'll blow after the goal. And he was saying, no, I was intending to blow the whistle dead, play dead. So that was the rule there. He was intending. Should he have blown it dead? Yeah, he should have blown it dead long before that. But he didn't. And so, that was kind of a mistake that they made. And then at some point he just said, I was intending to blow the whistle, but I was involved maybe in the altercation. That's why he didn't. But it's clearly a dead play and shouldn't have been a goal.
Interesting. You came out with a win ultimately, and that's the important thing. But looking at that Friday night game, only 23 shots on goal. They scored 3. You scored 4 on 42. You got the win, but were there aspects of that game that were frustrating for you? And if so, were those frustrations more on the offensive side or the defensive side?
Well, I mean, even Sunday night, we gave up some soft plays on goals, and they scored a power play goal. That was kind of a freaky thing. It was it was shot from the goal line that just happened to get in. There's about 3 inches that it could get in, and it did. And the guy had just skated through and screened the goalie at the time. It was just kind of a weird, perfect play. And sometimes when those things happen, you just got to throw it out. You got to say, okay, we could have killed the penalty a little bit better right before that. We should have killed the play, but we didn't. Sometimes plays happen, but ultimately, when you have the offense to make up for, a miscue, it makes things a lot easier, to deal with. But yeah, right now it's, we've often had a couple of soft goals. I mean, a couple of goals on Sunday were, I didn't like their goals. They soft play coming out of the corner, and the goalie was sitting down on the third goal, and all he had to do was shoot it in the net. So I wasn't really impressed with everything on those goals, but that's why you play the game.
That definitely was a sight to behold, that goal that was scored from the tight angle. But Daniil Glukaryov had one in that game as well. Danced into the slot, a no-look backhanded shot that beat Bernard. I know you only care that the puck goes in the back of the net, but do you have any memories of goals that have stood out this year as maybe one of the best, and as Danny's up there?
Yeah, I mean, that was a beautiful goal. I mean, we've had some really nice plays. I mean, I think we should get some of our goals up on our jumbotron before the game. I mean, we've had some beautiful goals, and there's been a lot of them, so it's hard to say which one is which. But yeah, that was a great play. And my comment was it looked like one of my old backhands when we had flat sticks, straight sticks. But yeah, Danny makes some great plays, and he's been money, and he bears down when he gets the opportunities. So. He scored a couple of nice goals last weekend.
You don't often hand out team superlatives. Teams just don't often do that. But in terms of most improved player, is Danny an easy number one in that category?
Yeah, I mean, Danny's really a really good all-around player. He carries the puck, he hits, he back checks, he defends, he's in top shape. He can play a lot of minutes. I mean, he's been, for a guy that started out, he didn't have a point in 6 games. And we go back and talk about it, he was making plays in practice and he looked good in the games, just wasn't getting it done. And it's the old Wally Pipp rule. Somebody missed an opportunity. Somebody was playing with Milan's line, and I can't remember. It might have been, Malik had gone up, or I'm not sure what the situation was at the time, but Danny stepped in and stepped up, and he hasn't given up that spot. And he doesn't want to come out of the lineup, and he doesn't want to get Wally Pipp.
The next night comes, and Andrew Stafora scores the first 2 professional goals of his career. You've played him recently alongside Milan and Glukaryov, so you obviously have a lot of trust in him. What do you think is different about Andrew and what he brings with his skill set?
Well, he's just, he skates, he hits, but, he can skate, and he's got a history of scoring goals. He scored 17 goals. He didn't have a lot of goals this year, but their team, sometimes that happens, but he scored a lot of goals in his college career. He had 17 one year. And, usually, if you've done it before, you can do it again, given the same, the right circumstances. So he's made a lot of good plays too. I mean, he's made plays, and he can keep up with that line. That's a critical thing. If you're going to play with Milan and Danny, you got to be able to keep up too.
That night also started with a fight between Kyle Powell and Elias Thompson. They fought each other in each of the 3 games. I saw them talking a lot in warm-ups. It all seemed very friendly to me. But when a fight is happening on the rip, on the opening draw, how aware are you made beforehand that something like that's going to happen?
Well, we started all our tough guys on Friday night because the last time we played them, they put that number 11 tried to fight Orca, and then he was following Milan around, and you got to send a message back. So part of it was, we sent a message back to their players. We want to be physical on their good players, and then, Powell was like, "Hey, if you want to fight somebody, and I'm here and I'm available." So, that's kind of things that go on, from a running feud sometimes, and Powell, maybe looking for a little extracurricular activity too.
You were known for dropping the gloves in your career. I think the fans know that a player might fight in retaliation to something that an opponent might do to them or a teammate, but this is a community that in some ways there's a lot of people who are still learning about this sport. Can you take those who may not know through some of the other motivations for fighting in hockey?
Well, ultimately, the real reason is, you've got, like in a football game, you've got 300-pound guys against 300-pound guys. Now they can get to the quarterback, but ultimately they kind of match up. You got linebackers then who are against linemen, and then running backs, and obviously they can get to the quarterback. But in hockey, you can have a 240-pound defenseman, hitting your 5'9", star player. And what we say is you can hit Milan, but if you try to hit him too hard, then we're gonna send a message back, and it might be the guy that did it, or it might be your best player. And ultimately, that's my real reason of policing, because even if you hit Milan really hard in a legal check and you put him out for a month, he's our best player, and we got to protect him. And other players too. I just use Milan as an excuse. He's as an example. He's a tough guy and he can take care of himself, but I'm not going to allow teams to you can hit him as part of the rules, but I pay attention if I see a guy targeting him, or if I see a guy, trying to give that extra shot on him, then I joke, I was in the revenge business for a long time, and I know it like the back of my hand. So it just amazes me when a coach like, when Port Huron pulls that crap that they did, same thing in Monroe, do they think that there's not going to be a retribution or a reckoning coming back? They're sadly mistaken. And ultimately, we don't always have the guys to do it. And right now, like tonight, we're playing the team that leads the league in penalty minutes. They lead the league in offense. And, I believe in fighting fire with fire. And so that their highest penalized team is now going to be up against, the most physical defense I don't recall having a defense as physical as these guys. And so, a side note in tonight's game, they lead the league in penalty minutes, and I think we've got the toughest team in the league. So we'll see who comes out on top of the physical battle. But you can bet we're going to be hitting a lot tonight.
And in contrast to that, going back to Baton Rouge, no team has taken less penalty minutes than the Baton Rouge Zydeco this season. But I don't think that's the kind of team we saw both this past weekend or even when we saw them in Baton Rouge. What do you think led to the Zydeco playing a rougher game against us, if you want to call it?
Well, they have to. You're if you're just going to try to turn the other cheek and allow us to run you over, you're not going to win. You know what I mean? So they're kind of forced into, if you play us and you're going to play us 3 games, and we came out physical. Like, our guys knew what they tried to pull there. And so they're desperate. They're playing for their lives. They're playing for their playoff lives. And we got an incident from the other night that I'm appealing the suspension on Greco. The guy clearly instigated. It's not instigated. He clearly incited Greco to come after him. And he went out of his way to come up to Greco after the goal and on Greco's way to the bench. He, all the clear inciting issues, but that wasn't, I didn't even know that the league was reviewing it, because why they did it, I don't know, but I guess I do know, but ultimately why, I question that, but it was clearly a result of, an incident that was incited by the 96, who's their second penalty minute. He's their second leader in penalty minutes. And he's trying to get to Greco in front of the net on the goal. And then he goes up to Greco. And the reason they have that rule, it's really clear. Inciting can cause aggressive behavior, aggression from your opponent. And you can't go up and run your mouth. And this is one of the things that Baton Rouge said. They run their mouth. You can't go up and run your mouth and say you're going to do something and then have somebody respond and then turtle and say, okay, go ahead and, and now it's a suspension. It's not a suspendable act. The aggression by Greco was clearly because he was incited into that by a guy who's the second leading penalty minute guy. And anybody that watched the series knows the Larwood guy runs his mouth the whole game, runs his mouth coming by the back.
Hate to cut off our interview with head coach Steve Martinson short. Of course, you can catch all coaches' corners right here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. The Rock Lobsters coming back to the ice here, and they'll start on the power play. It wasn't the start that they wanted on the power play at the end of the first, as they gave up a shorthanded goal from Blake Tosto, an early birthday gift for him to make it a 2-0 game. Before that, a minute 17 seconds into it, there was the opener from Gavin Yates. Perhaps if there's one benefit to take into this second period is that the Rock Lobsters in general as of late haven't been a great first period team. They've really been able to show their muscles in the second and third. Hopefully that remains a trend tonight. Let's pause briefly for station identification. WGAU and W254 CJ Athens, 98.7 FM and AM 1340 WGAU. The chase for the Commissioner's Cup is on, and your Athens Rock Lobsters are clawing their way to glory. Be part of the madness this postseason and turn the tank into the loudest barn in the league. Don't miss your chance to witness every hit, goal, and game-winning moment as the Rock Lobsters battle for the ultimate prize. Postseason tickets are on sale now. Grab yours at rocklobstershockey.com today or scan the QR code on your screen. Let's pack the tank and make some playoff magic, because in the offseason, teams are going to learn the hashtag Fear the Claw. William Lavalier was a busy man in the first 20 minutes. 18 shots seen, he saved 16 of them. Coming off one of his very best performances, really back-to-back he's had tremendous performances. Before that 39 save performance in the 4-3 win last night, he logged his first shutout as a Rock Lobster against the Baton Rouge Zydeco. That came last Saturday. 20 more minutes put on the clock, but 43 seconds left on the Paloma Park power play. The Rock Lobsters need to get it going here. Shinkarik can't take it over the line. Picked back up by Kason Gallant on his own blue. Papa Petros in his own defensive slot finds Kason Gallant, who casts a spell on that puck with the skate. Erratic with the stick there, but it was effective from Tosto. Papa Petros, right circle shot. Garrett Milan with the effort. Philip Virgili tried to jump over it, but it pinballed around the crease before trickling out into the inboards. Too hard of a pass around. Papa Petros will have to pick it up out of his own zone. Only 5 seconds left here on the man advantage. Milan with a shot that caught Hapward up high, but then he caught it up high as well. Only 2 seconds left, so it looks like this Paloma Park power play is coming to an end, and it was the first man advantage for Athens of the night. All they had to show for it was the shorthanded goal that was scored in the wrong direction. They'll still have an offensive zone draw here with 2 seconds to go. Maybe they can draw something up, create a window to send a shot into, and scratch one back in the first minute of the second. Milan does win the draw. Murray with an effort that's wide to the left. Picked back up by Kolatarsi into the end boards for Glukaryov. Glukaryov able to avoid the wrestle down to the ice, but then loses the puck. We've got a whistle in the offensive zone for Athens. Looks like the Rock Lobsters potentially going right back to the man advantage. Weber being escorted to the sin bin. Gets called for the hold there. That's just what the doctor ordered. Some sustained time with a man up on Binghamton. Mind you, the Rock Lobsters were unable to score on the power play last night as well. Shinkarik couldn't keep that one from floating over the blue line. Offside whistled against the Crustaceans. A reminder that if the Rock Lobsters score on the Paloma Park power play, they earn fans free churros at Paloma Park for 24 hours through the FanSaves app. FanSaves app brought to you by 23 Design. Milan and Kirkby on the draw once again. Clean face-off win by Garrett. Taken over the left side of the line by Glukaryov. Glukaryov steps on the brakes. Puck into the slot, cut out with a poke check there by Tyson Kirkby. Kirkby, a multifaceted player, showing it on special teams and 5-on-5. Gallant playing a risky game out of his own ice, but able to protect it from Kirkby. Gallant gallivanting up the left side, wraps around the net, drops it back to Milan. Took a little tip before it reached the veteran. Bergelian behind, going body to body with Bond. Here come the Black Bears shorthanded once again. Shinkarik and Milan back. But the shot comes in, saved by the blocker off of Thompson. The Black Bears' committed body is going forward. Now the Rock Lobsters the other way. Gallant had his effort tipped by Dale Dion and out of play. Still about half of this power play to go for the Rock Lobsters. The man advantage has not what they've wanted it to be over the last 24 hours. Weisblatt, rare face-off for him, and he wins it. Papa Petros to the right for Picard. Picard, right in front of the right circle, sends a shot that skips like a stone into the end boards past Hapward. Weisblatt, right circle. Killer Whale looking for the killing shot. Doesn't find it. Papa Petros. Back at the line, Kolatarsi. Picard. Weisblatt past the goal line. Kolatarsi, left side of the blue line. Here's Picard. Hard off the end boards. Malik Johnson tried to feed Weisblatt off the end boards through his legs. Able to feed Weisblatt once again. Centers it for the Killer Whale, who's wide to the left. Malik Johnson stops it on the goal line in the far corner. Picard, left circle, looking for Johnson once again. He plays it down with a glove, but as he pirouetted with the puck in his hand, was unable to direct it towards Hapward. Fresh out the box, the Black Bears now with numbers going ahead. The Rock Lobsters have to clear their own side of the ice. 2 power plays for Athens to start this second period. Nothing going, but Weisblatt finds Milan, who finds the back of the net to scratch one back. Garrett Milan with point number 98 as he remains on the search for 100. Let's take another look with a Crawford Laundry spin cycle. It was a perfect feed from Weisblatt to Milan at the line. He got himself in that perfect shooting position in the slot. Rifled one past the rookie goaltender Hapward. It didn't come on the power play, but the goal came, and now Athens able to cut their deficit to just 1. Here's something that's a little disconcerting, though. Feels like there's heavy discussions right in front of the off-ice official. Refereeing crew getting into each other's ear as well. Looks like we'll do the face-off, so the goal will count. Early step in there from Tasso on the face-off. But Milan wins it back to Greco. Almost caught Oja off guard with the pass, but Oja recovers, gets it up to Glukaryov on the left side. Glukaryov eases it to Smith, looking for the backhand flipper right to the left of Hapward. Sometimes you don't want to put too much mustard on the puck. when you're going against Binghamton, because Binghamton has so much speed going the other way. If you send a lot of power on a shot or a pass and it goes around the boards quickly, Binghamton can pick that puck up and start going on a quick trip towards your net. Rock Lobsters have learned that the Binghamton Black Bears have a lot of firepower in their barrel, no doubt. Playing from behind for the first time in this series, but the Rock Lobsters have got one back. Can they make it two? Riley Robertson out of the faceoff. Avery Smith got blindsided there by Bond. Nice win back from Shinkarik in enemy territory. Centers it towards Smith. Picard turns around. He can't find the feed to the big Texan, Avery Smith. Smith having a good couple games as of late. Opened the scoring last night with a goal of the year candidate for the Rock Lobsters. Before that, had the Gordie Howe hat trick performance in the Sunday game against Baton Rouge. And not sure about that call, but the referees have a better view than us. The linesman blows the whistle for offsides. Little more than 4 minutes gone in the second period. One goal in the middle frame belongs to Garrett Milan and the Rock Lobsters, but still playing at a disadvantage, 2-1. Oja being paired here with Greco on the night. Greco back from suspension. Johnson finds a way past Weber here, but Anderson there to sweep it up. Black Bears playing a much more dangerous game in their own end in this period. Gallant wins it back in the end boards. Comes around. Virgili finds Greco. Greco with a laser. I believe that one hit Gallant up high. Gallant, backhand no looker in the neutral zone, back to Johnson. Virgili drops it for Greco. Got his stick under that one, and it was floated over the crossbar of Hapworth. Great centering feed in behind from Virgili, but it's through the whole half of the ice and all the way back behind the net for Lavalier is Oja. Oja right through the middle for Glukaryov. A little bit of European Union there. Glukaryov dangles again. Weisblatt, high slot shot blocked out. Another bite of the cherry from the left circle, blocked out as well by Weber. Weisblatt takes a hit, falls for Milan, stopped by the skate of Papapetros. Glukaryov intercepts the effort from Swain. Milan, the goal scorer for Athens. Little tip out in front there from Papapetros on a good play make there from Weisblatt. Papapetros plays it with a skate, skips in behind him. Luckily, Carter Shinkarik stomps out the fire as Tosto was heading towards Lavalier's net. Shinkarik drags the wrist shot right into the shins of Anderson. Glukaryov on the far boards finds Shinkarik. Shinkarik centering feed towards Weisblatt, never made it to the killer whale. Played down with a glove of Yates. He's already got one in this one. Murray tied up the stick before Yates could let the shot go. He lets the official know that he believes he got hooked there. Murray, 2 games removed from a 2-goal performance, came into that night with only 1 on the season. Took it into the zone, but now it's taken away by Bingo. Sent in, deeper into the Rock Lobster ice by Sirota. Smith has it taken off of him, but Robertson with a poker gets it back. Up the far side, stopped by Poirier, sent back in. Robertson to the near. Shinkarik gives it up. Great pad save there from Lavalier on Clark. That looked more like the Black Bears team of the first period. So good at creating pressure in their offensive zone. They did it for what felt like nearly 20 minutes straight in the first period. Good effort there from Smith. to beat out the icing. Virgili lets it run, and Kolatarsi couldn't stop it at the blue line. Robertson on the red line sends in a dump in that challenges Hapward. Hapward was equal to it. A couple of quick collisions between a number of people on the near glass. Johnson was looking for the number 9, Kason Gallant, but the Binghamton number 9, Dale Dion, takes it away. The two-time SPHL champion from Georgetown, Ontario. CJ Stubbs with a shot over the bar from the left circle. Poked ahead by Gallant, takes it away. Johnson enters on the left side. Gets tied up there expertly by Kirkby. And I believe a Black Bear just got called for the hook. Not sure who's going into the sin bin for the Black Bears, but I believe the Rock Lobsters are going back to the Paloma Park power play. It'll be Tyson Kirkby will sit. Let's see if the Rock Lobsters can send fans home happy, not only with equalizing the scoreline at 2-2, but also with free churros at Paloma Park.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
Rock Lobsters back on the Paloma Park power play. Tyson Kirkby will sit for 2 for hooking. Milan wriggles free on the left side. Orca Weisblatt follows behind him with a puck. Milan can't settle it in the trapezoid, but Glukarioff finds a centering pass towards Smith. Couldn't get any mustard on that one in the slot. Weisblatt in a tussle there with Dakota Bond. And it looks like it'll quickly be a 4-on-4 now. We saw a couple of those disappointing instances last night where the Rock Lobsters were up a man and then would take a penalty to essentially ruin their power play chances. Weisblatt gets called for the hold. Face-off will happen to the right of Lavalier. Minute 26 of 4-on-4 before 34 seconds of Black Bear power play. Milan slaps at it, but it's free for Yates. Bond, left side of the line, up into the corner for Steffen. Back to Bond. Bond, risky pass there, cut out by Kolatarsi. Shinkarik in his own left circle. Looking for an option. Milan is always option number 1 for Captain Fantastic. Milan in around the net. Kolatarsi's joined him on the forecheck. Garrett Milan, great vision there to win that puck back, saw where that puck was heading, and his shot from a short distance is saved by Hapward. Hapward 2-0-0 on the season. His last performance came March 22nd 18 saves on 22 shots. And I've been told that the big reason why he's starting tonight is that the Binghamton Black Bears are trying to give him enough game experience for him as a college prospect signing to get into the roster for the postseason. I've been told for goaltenders it also counts if you're a backup on the night, but roll of the dice here. Right now it's paying off for the Black Bears. Meanwhile, Yates looking for his second one, skips off the skate of Milan. Still loose out in front. Yates gets around Lavalier. But there was presence out in front of the crease to make sure that it never tickled the twine. Lukarioff on to the right side. Lukarioff, beautiful move. Lukarioff has shown himself a valuable piece of the 4-on-4 special teams. He scored that beauty no-look backhander on the 4-on-4 last weekend. We're going back to immediate timeout here. Exactly half of regulation to go in this one. The Rock Lobsters looking to level it at 2. See if they do so here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Back with more after this.
Since 1968, we've been your trusted source for home comfort. From then to now, we've evolved, but our commitment to your comfort remains unchanged. Experience the expertise that only decades of dedicated service can provide. Trust Stanfield. We've been keeping homes comfortable for over 50 years. Your comfort, our legacy. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living.
Still 4-on-4 hockey here at Akins Ford, but not for long. 15 seconds left on Kirkby's penalty. And then they'll have about 34 seconds of a man advantage for themselves. And Crustaceans need to be careful. Binghamton Black Bears, very, very dangerous. Not just on the power play, but on special teams in general in this series. Long trip from Jesse Anderson. Ends with him on the ice. Stubbs with Oja behind him. Very clever pass to find Kirkby. Tries to center it toward Anderson behind Lavalier's cage. Anderson into the near corner. Thompson. One-timed at the line. Weber. Blocker save from Lavalier. Thompson. Good movement here on the late power play, what's remains of it. And Weisblatt will be back onto the ice. Athens back at full strength. Greco all the way in. No icing, say the officials. Drops right in front of Milan, took an awkward skip that benefited Sirota. Beautiful move from Binghamton, courtesy of Kyle Steffen. But Zach Papapetros wise to it. Poirier. Love save, Lavalier. Little bit of extracurriculars. Couple of players getting face to face. I think Steffen trying to get in the face of Papapetros there. Perhaps the biggest surprise is that we haven't seen anyone drop the gloves yet in this set of 2 games. Wonder how long that trend will last. Shinkarik. He's played the last few games as a centerman. Has played a majority of the year as a blue line. Binghamton win the draw. Picard trying to get his stick into the hands of Ramakers, who's back in action tonight. Was actually on the broadcast for the Black Bears last night. Sirota to the right for Poirier. Dumped in. Robertson finding some shelter behind the net, but the broken stick on the ice, playing defense there on Athens. Rock Lobsters still able to get it in the neutral zone. Everyone has to duck that as it's traversed into the corner. Lavalier into the far boards. Stopped by Yates. Yates could potentially have 3 goals already in this one. He's had the opportunities tonight as Bond has Lavalier thinking with one that is over the bar. Picard, a beautiful poke check to Smith, right into the midsection of Hapward. Smith on the search for his 4th in 3 games. And the broken stick will make you think about Junk South. Call 855-RIP Junk today to have Junk South take care of your broken sticks out on your front yard. Seven and a half minutes to go in the middle frame. Only 1 goal scored in the second. Belongs to Garrett Milan. Milan with his 36th of the year, point number 98. The question of will he, won't he, as we're in the final 3 games of the season, of if Milan will hit 100 points for the first time in his career. Lukarioff, pad saved by Hapward. Picked back up by Murray on the far side. He'll one-time it right into the equipment of the New Jersey native. Rock Lobsters handed the Black Bears only their 6th regulation loss of the season. Only the 2nd time that the Continental Division has given the Black Bears a loss. The other time belongs to the Blue Ridge Bobcats. And of course, that'll bring up a lot of perhaps not so fond memories for both the Bobcats and the Black Bears. That was just a mess that night in Wytheville. Athens loses it in enemy territory, taken away by Yates. He's been the danger man for Binghamton tonight. Lavalier stops the trajectory of that puck. Lukarioff helps it down for Milan. Milan showing off the speed once again. Took a piece of the glove of Hapward. Milan, second bite of the cherry, wide of the mark. Murray with a step up. Sends one off the middle of the end boards. Milan wins it back for Athens. Papapetros step to the right, looking for a deflection. Instead, took a majority of the body of Lukarioff. Papapetros kicks it to himself again. Papapetros has to dive and sprawl to get anything with his stick on it. Ends up being sent out by the Black Bears, but not long enough for icing. Michael Greco, back from his 1-game suspension, was labeled as the aggressor against Tyler Larwood against the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Last Sunday night, Kaysen Gallant took a tumble before he could get anything on the centering feed from Johnson. Sent out by Kirkby. Greco right back into the zone, and he was behind the red line. That'll be an icing. Weber barking at Malik Johnson, getting right in his face. And Johnson will go to the box, and Weber will as well. We'll see what happens when those two make their way out of the sin bin. For now, they'll sit. There's that man right there who currently leads the FPHL in goals scored. 36, 37, and 38 logged last night for Kaysen Gallant. We talked about the will he, won't he for Milan, and 100 points on the season. Gallant has a little less than 2.5 games to get to 40 on the year in terms of goals scored. It's going to be 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. Four-on-4 has been a good omen for the Rock Lobsters as of late, specifically Danil Glukaryov. He's one of those players that open ice just benefits the Russian a little bit more than other people. He won't find himself on the unit here, though. It's Kolatarsi, Shinkarik, Gallant, and Virgili. Shinkarik all the way back into his own zone. Fires from out behind the right side of Lavalier's cage. Rock Lobsters lose it. Virgili lays the hit, opens it up for Kolatarsi. He gets taken down, and now the Rock Lobsters are skint at the back. Stubbs centers it. Anderson couldn't settle that puck in order to create a shot. In behind for Kirkby. Virgili takes him to the far corner. Virgili showing that he has nothing to do with his stick getting stuck in there. Great centering feed. By all means, Anderson should have scored there, just wide of the mark. Great pass from Stubbs. Here's Stubbs again. Good shot. Anderson in behind. Virgili's lost his stick. Gallant takes it away. A 2-on-1 in the other direction. Gallant so close to scoring, but there's a fight in the other direction. Virgili and Kirkby. Virgili with a big right hand. Uppercuts from Kirkby, the overhand right. Kirkby down onto his knees, and Virgili is able to wrestle him to the ground and end up on top. And listen to this crowd. Virgili fires him up. And right now, all my direction kind of toward the bench here. Oh, Steve Martinson. Steve Martinson on the bench, exchanging verbally with the coaching staff of the Black Bears. We're going to a commercial break here. This one's not done by a long shot. Either the scoring or extracurricular activities. Action left in this one, no doubt. Stay tuned with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
At Athens Stonecasting, Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds. Endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core convictions we live by. Learn more about what we stand for at firstamericanishere.com. First American Bank and Trust.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
In terms of who would drop the gloves for the first time for Athens in this series, I don't think Philip Virgili would have been first on the bingo card. It still remains 4-on-4 here, about 1 minute and 3 seconds left on the penalties to Weber and to Johnson, but there are more penalties upcoming here. Smith in a barking match there with I believe it was Stone. Faceoff will happen to the left of Hapworth. Milan against Thompson on the draw. 2 of the 7 FPHL players that have 30-plus goals on the year. Beautiful move here from the Black Bears at the line, but Bond's drop pass was over the line to Yates, and that's an offside. Five minutes for fighting to both Philip Virgili and Tyson Kirkby. And Athens has to find an advantage out of that. Tyson Kirkby, one of the very best in the FPHL. Papa Petros slapping the shins of Anderson, who sends the blade of his stick into Papa Petros' lower extremities in return. Milan almost took it away, but Yates wins it back, only temporarily. Milan waits for Glukarioff to enter on the left side, centering pass! That one's so close to tickling the twine. Milan missed by a margin. Glukarioff wins it back in the trap. Right circle, just missed wide as well. Milan recycles. Gets himself right in front of the 2 circles. Shot saved by Hapward. Milan in behind the net. Gets taken down. Probably wanted the call, not going to get one. Jesse Anderson from the near side tries to drag it past Glukarioff, but a great recovery from the Russian and a great sight to see Milan on the other line. He gets hit up high by Bond. Uh-oh! Greco trying to chase down Bond. Bond doesn't want anything to do with it. Greco will escort him all the way to the Binghamton bench. I think Steve Martinson trying to get everyone back to his bench. He doesn't want any more penalties to come out of that because the Rock Lobsters were heading to the power play. It was the first period that had more goals, but you could argue this second period has more action with all of the pushing and shoving and fighting between Virgili and Kirkby. Greco going to the penalty box. I saw 2 on the other side for the Black Bears. Believe it was Yates and Bond. Of course, Bond with that almost clothesline of a hit on Milan. No doubt was a dangerous one. We'll see what comes out of these penalties. We're going to go quickly to a commercial break. After this, perhaps a Rock Lobster power play. We'll see.
When you're the Athens Rock Lobster's biggest enforcer, life can get pretty messy. That's when Justin Portillo calls Crawford Laundry. Justin Portillo only trusts Crawford Laundry to get his toughest game day stains out in plenty of time for the next one.
Since 1968, we've been your trusted source for home comfort. From then to now, we've evolved, but our commitment to your comfort remains unchanged. Experience the expertise that only decades of dedicated service can provide. Trust Stanfield. We've been keeping homes.
Dakota Bond waving goodbye to the crowd as he's just been kicked out of this game. Have to believe that it's because of that high hit against Milan. And of course, this is a game that has much more higher stakes in it for the Rock Lobsters than it does for the Black Bears. The Black Bears have already clinched the top spot in the Empire Division. The Rock Lobsters still in a battle for first with the Carolina Thunderbirds. It's a case where the Rock Lobsters pretty much have to win every game, or otherwise they give Carolina the chance to leapfrog them for the top spot in the Continental. Looks like we're still not sure of all of the penalties here. Meanwhile, the Monroe Moccasins, who were up at one point 2-1 against the Columbus River Dragons, now find themselves down 3-2 on their home ice. All right, taking a look here. It'll be a little bit confusing for our power play timer if what is up on the scoreboard is to be believed. There's a 5-minute major penalty for Dakota Bond. Obviously, we saw him kicked off the ice. Michael Greco finds himself in the box for 2 minutes. There's still 7 seconds left on the penalties to Johnson as well as to Weber. So I believe it'll be 3-on-3 for 6 seconds, 4-on-4 for 1:54, and then 3 minutes of Rock Lobster power play. I believe that's what we have here. It is indeed starting 3-on-3. Milan with Kolatarsi and Oja. Face-off won by the Rock Lobsters. Kolatarsi fakes the slapper, ends up taking it over the line into the neutral zone. Malik Johnson now on the ice. It'll be 4-on-3, or rather 4-on-4, as he's also joined by Weber. Milan in the left circle. Fakes the wraparound, ends up going forehand backhand on Hapward, who's able to stuff Garrett. Malik Johnson with a big hit there on Weber, who then looks down at Weber on the ice. Minute 26 left, a 4-on-4 here. Then the Rock Lobsters will go to the power play. Big slapper from Picard, stopped out in front. It trickles all the way to Hapward, who puts a stop to the clock with 3:20 left. Let's see if we have a description of all the penalties as they've been called here. Dakota Bond, a match penalty for an illegal check to the head. Right now, that's the only thing that's popping up on the federalhockey.com website. Perhaps we'll have more answers after the intermission. We'll find out. Glukharioff, rare face-off here for him as he goes up against Steffen. Steffen wins the draw. Glukharioff so close to winning it back, ends up doing so. Can't find the puck in the slot, trickles back for Papapetros at the line. Right side of the net, Glukharioff through the circle, back at the line for Murray. Up the left boards, Papapetros lets it run for Picard, tries to help it on its way. But a good defensive play with a stick there from Kyle Steffen. Kyle Steffen maybe didn't know that it was 4-on-4. Perhaps he thought the power play had already started as he ices the puck. Still 46 seconds left of 4-on-4 before Michael Greco will make his way back out on the ice. And then the Rock Lobsters will have about 3 minutes of power play. Binghamton doing a good job in their own zone on the faceoff. With a poker finds Papapetros. His shot fired over the bar. Someone struggling in the near circle as Kyle Steffen is holding his face. Threw a stick and fired it into the near boards. Steffen looking for blood. Is that going to go down as a high stick? It looks like the Rock Lobster penalty box is open, and Zach Papapetros will make his way in. Again, the Rock Lobsters need to be more disciplined, and now it's the Black Bears who will have a power play. Power play will last just 34 seconds until Greco makes his way back on the ice. So at least the Rock Lobsters won't have long to keep Binghamton out with a man up. Then there will be about, let's see here, quick maths, 1:20 of 4-on-4. And then the Rock Lobsters will have about 1.5 minutes on the power play. Right circle shot. Attempt came in from Austin Thompson, second highest scorer for this Black Bears team. Stubbs at the goal line. 4-on-3 power play here for the Black Bears. A lot of open ice for them. Little slip there from Stone. Still was able to get the puck to Stubbs. Stone to Stubbs. Feed out to the right side. Yates looking for his second. Michael Greco's back in contention. And now we're on the 4-on-4. Ooh, that one off the post from Stone. Maybe it was hard off the side netting. Milan taking it coast to coast. Milan! Oh, what a beautiful route run there by Milan, but now it might be a break the other way. Tosto trying to pull the trickery on Murray. Yates loses his stick. Has to recollect it. Shinkarik over the center of the line. Took an awkward tip off of some piece of Anderson and into the netting. 1:20 left in this second period. 48 seconds left on the penalty to Papapetros. And then once that is over, about 1.5 minutes of power play for the Rock Lobsters. In the middle 20, just one goal scored, and it belongs to Garrett Milan. Can Shinkarik make it to an absolute laser, but straight at Hapward. Troy Murray, Shinkarik, Lukarioff, and Weisblatt, the four-man unit here. On the other side, a unit that's centered by Kyle Steffen. Murray with a ripper. Took a big piece of Cameron Clark, who's slow to get back to his feet. Nice little lift of the stick there from Tosto to win it back from the Black Bears. 1 minute remaining here in the middle frame. Lukarioff able to get past one. Shinkarik there to sweep it up. Shinkarik from the far side. Fakes the forehand shot, takes it around the net, finds Murray at the line. Weisblatt has to be careful. Does get the pass off that's floated to Lukarioff towards the end boards. Power play starting for the Rock Lobsters. Gallant stops that puck from being sent out. Uh-oh, there was a hit in behind there from Stefan on Gallant, and now we've got another fight. Kolatarsi landed the only punch before being taken down there. I believe it's Kyle Stefan, and it is, who emerges from that scrum. Taking a quick look there. Kyle Stefan able to just counter the punch that was swung by Kolatarsi and able to just grab the wrist and take him down. 16.2 seconds left in this middle period. It's been one of the longest periods we may have seen here at Akins Ford Arena. Something that is interesting, and a lot of it has to do with the power play time experienced by the Rock Lobsters in the second. They're getting a lot closer to the Binghamton Black Bears shot on goal tally, which was heavily in favor of the visitors at the end of the first period. Top team in the Continental Division, the new kids on the block, trying to take down the reigning Commissioner's Cup champions 2 nights in a row. Face-off won by the Rock Lobsters. Is there a late shot in here to even things up? Shinkarik's pass goes past Glukarioff. He one-times it off the boards. Picked back up by Shinks at the blue line. Looking for a tip from Smith out in front. 3, 2, 1. Glukarioff with a shot! Was fired wide and off the end boards. Let's see if the referees can keep these two teams separated and get them both to the locker room to send us into the second intermission. The Rock Lobsters with the lone goal in the second period. But it's been a couple of periods that probably have been much more defined by the penalties than the goal scored. 3 minutes and 16 seconds in to the middle frame. Garrett Milan was able to get himself into the high slot and fire a shot past the rookie goaltender Hapward to scratch one back for Athens. There's been a lot of special teams needed from both teams in this game. However, it's the Binghamton Black Bears that have the slight advantage. 2 goals scored at even strength by Yates and Milan. In between that was Blake Tosto with a shorthanded break. Well, someone who really thrives in these kinds of games, someone who loves getting stuck in the middle of the kind of disputes that we've seen on the ice here tonight, is none other than Michael Greco. He's quickly become a fan favorite for this Athens Rock Lobster team. And I had a chance to talk with him just a few days ago about what makes him so likable and why the fans have taken to him so quickly. Here's my conversation, our Lobster Tales, with Michael Greco.
Hey there, Crustacean Nation, and welcome back to Lobster Tales. It's our special segment where the fans in the stands or at home can learn more about the lobsters on the ice. Voice of the Rock Lobsters, Mattine Rad, joined by my guest today, Michael Greco. Michael, thanks for joining me. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. This is one that I've been really excited about because I know how really quickly beloved you've become by the fans. You came into the team in late December, and I remember you made your Athens debut on your former home ice in Columbus against the River Dragons. What were your memories of coming in and was debuting against a team that you've played the most games for in your career? An interesting way to start out for the Rock Lobsters.
It was pretty cool, honestly. The bus trip in was weird. Playing an away game in a home arena, like an old home arena, it was interesting. But I was excited, all the fans that I know from when I was there, and the coaches and the players. I have buddies on the team, obviously, and whatnot. So it was super cool to kind of see everyone again and see familiar faces. I chatted with some people after the games and stuff, but it was weird coming out the other side for sure.
You've traded places quite a bit in your career, especially last year. So you know what it's like to come into a new environment. When coming into this Rock Lobsters team, what were the immediate differences that you saw in comparison to other places you've been?
I bounced around a little bit in the SB last year, unfortunately. It happens to everyone. But it seemed like when I came here that everyone was just like excited, like on the team. They kind of didn't know who I was, but they were just excited. They were like, okay, a new guy, cool. I talked to Shinks a little bit before I came. Didn't know him before, just only one phone call. So it was kind of cool. I played with Millsy a bit. I played with Mallow a bit as well. Orca just for a little bit in Pensacola. So those guys knew me quite a bit, and I think they liked me. So word spread around the room pretty quickly that I'm an okay guy.
It's not just the team that likes you. As I mentioned, you quickly became a fan favorite, really for the way that you play the game. And for those who may be unfamiliar or may be watching for the first time, what do you think it is about your game that draws the passion from those who watch you?
I think that's it right there, passion. I play the game, the game of hockey with passion. I love this game. It's the only thing I kind of know since I was 3 years old. I've been playing hockey since I was 3. Every single year, every single summer, I'm on the ice, whether it's summer hockey, coaching, anything. That's just how I play. I love this game a lot. I play with my heart, I play with my heart on my sleeve. And I think people see that. I'm not afraid to get in people's faces. I play for my team, the guys that are wearing the same jersey as me. And I think people respect that. I think that's why. I genuinely think that's why.
I think a part of it too is, you've become known for the big hit. And I think you've become known for that in both Athens and around the league. You tend to leave your marketplaces. At what level of hockey did you start throwing the body around, and what inspired that quality in your play? Was there someone maybe you watched growing up, something like that?
It's weird. I'm a defenseman, but my favorite player is Joe Thornton. A big forward who likes to pass the puck a lot. He's not afraid to muck it up a bit. I don't know. I was never the biggest kid growing up, so I kind of just took things after Joe Thornton, I was like, I want to play like him, but I don't have the size to be like him. So I want to be a little bit aggressive, nasty to play against. I like passing the puck, stuff like that. And my dad always told me too, growing up, like, you kind of have to be mean to play against. So you don't want to be fun to play against. Every time you're on the ice, you don't want to touch the puck. The puck doesn't want to be in your net. So if you're mean, guys aren't going to bring it in your net.
Regarding being a fan favorite, you're coming off some time on the sidelines with an injury that you got from a block shot. I would see messages on the fan page that would say things like, "Oh, I saw, Greco in the concourse and he said hi to us," and, fans would be excited about it. Were you aware how much the fans loved you before you had the chance to interact with so many of them as much as you did during your injury?
Not really. Like, I kind of stay off social media and stuff. I don't really read too much in regards to fans and whatnot. I don't know. I feel like it's a bad habit to get into because not everyone says nice things. So, I don't care about the nice things or the bad things. It's nice to hear, but I just try and avoid it all. And it was nice the last month. I've been off for about a month now with this ankle injury, and it's cool how much people care. A lot of different faces, a lot of different people every single game, even the workers at the arena. Hey, how you doing? When are you coming back? So it seems like it's a tight community here, and it's cool to be a part of for sure.
Fans know you for the big hits, but I think the league and the team know you for being one of the best and most prolific chirpers in the Fed right now. I've heard some great stories about your chirps, and unfortunately I can't repeat any of them here. But
Yep.
From the man himself, what do you think goes into the art of the chirp?
You got to be quick with it. You can't sit on a response. I find this is my, tip to anyone that might be listening. There's no limits. If you're chirping someone, go right for the throat right away. Why not? Let's see if they have a response. Put it in their court, see if they can play some offense. And then usually guys don't. Usually guys don't know what to say. I kind of catch a lot of guys off guard with what I say because I'm not afraid to say a lot of things. So, we can't repeat those things. But yeah, you got to get in people's faces and say things that people don't want to hear. A lot of times you'll see guys just stuck.
No mercy. I like it. Do you have any opinions on who has the worst chirps on the team?
On our team?
Yeah.
I want to say Danny just because he's Russian and, the English is kind of lost in translation. But English speaking person, I gotta give it to like Garce or Rosie. They're brutal. They're jump at it.
Something I've never done before, Michael. We're going to do a little bit of a blind ranking here. I've comprised 5 of the best hitters in NHL history, and I want you to rank them without knowing who's coming next. Make sense?
Okay.
So we're going to start with someone that Georgia hockey fans will know well, Dustin Byfuglien.
Oh man, that's a tough one not to put one.
I've got some heavy hitters coming up, man. So just so you know,
he's an easy 2 in my eyes, being that big, and he just manhandled guys when he played. And he's a fisher now, so he just shows that hockey was a hobby for him. It wasn't a lifestyle; it was a hobby, and he made guys who played it as a lifestyle look embarrassing a lot. So he's a number 2 for me.
I think that's a safe 2. Being from Ontario, up next is someone you'll know well, Dion Phaneuf.
He's a 3. I'm going to put him at a 3 because he's it's funny you say his name. I saw an article a couple of days ago actually about his wife saying how everyone was afraid to play him, and I like that part. But I think Dustin Byfuglien's a little bit scarier, so I'm going to put Dion at number 3.
The next guy would be my personal favorite on this list, and I've seen the Kronwalling compilations over and over again. Where would you rank Swede and Detroit Red Wing Niklas Kronwall?
He's got that famous wall hit, man, right at the blue line. I think it's a number 1. It's a staple in the NHL. He's not even in the game anymore, and when it happens, even in our league, like people say it, I think he might be a number 1. I think it's okay to put him at number 1.
You might have to get back in your time machine for this next one, Grex. How familiar are you, and where would you rank the friendly ghost, Darius Kasparaitis? I think you've only got 4 and 5 left, right?
I'm going to put him at 5. I'm going to put him at 5 because I think 4 might be a good one. I'm going to give you some hope here. Come on.
Well, Michael, you've only got 1 spot left, so I guess we're going to have to rank Scott Stevens 4th. Now that we're done with the ranking, how do you look the?
I would switch it around. He's at 3.
Wow, I think a lot of people would put Stevens consensus number 1, pound for pound.
I think the reason why he's not my number 1 is because he played in the older style of hockey where it wasn't as fast or skilled. Whereas the guys now, like Dustin Byfuglien, was kind of in that in between, but he played against the fast, skilled players that harder to hit a guys. And same with Cromwell, like faster, skilled players, hard to hit, but they abuse them. So I don't know. Yeah, that's what I like list.
I like Kronwall at 1 because he may not have been the heaviest hitter, but his hits are the most fun to watch by far.
Well, yeah, they're everywhere too. That's usually every Don Cherry highlight hit reel thing is there's at least 4 of the Kronwalls in there.
Well, Greg, so I'll lead us right into our next segment. We've recently introduced a new segment where the fans can ask questions of their favorite players, and we're calling it Question a Crustacean. For those of you who want to be able to ask Michael and other Rock Lobsters questions, make sure you get into the Athens Rock Lobsters fan page on Facebook. Admin of that page, Niven McCrary, says, I'd love to hear about some of his fights. Do they happen naturally, or do he and his opponents plan to square off ahead of time? Is there one guy that he just loves to drop the gloves with?
It's a good question. Like I was saying earlier, I play with my heart on my sleeve. I'm an emotional guy, and as you saw last game, I kind of just snap, the wires cross, and sometimes that happens. It doesn't happen often, but I'm a pretty calm guy, but I do square up with guys as well. I had one in the Fed my first year. A really big guy, actually, a big farmer guy. It was against Delaware. They're not in the league anymore. Our military weekend, I hurt one of their players with a clean hit, and so they brought in some Ice Wars guy that was like 290 pounds, and he said he was going to hurt one of the guys on our team, and happened to be my buddy. So I said, okay, I guess I got to fight him. That's the most memorable one I have because he was a lot bigger than me. He was about 280, 290, 6'2", 6'3", and got easy work, not gonna lie.
What happens in those wires crossing moments? I mean, take last night against, I think it was Larwood, for example. What happens leading up to that?
It's not a one instance, thing for me. It's more so like a build up. There's lots of players in the league who like to chirp, and they don't ever do anything about it, or they're just chirp from the back, and that's it. And then they play this fake tough guy game, and I figured we don't play them again. Why not? It's tied 2-2. Maybe get the boys going, and we won 9-3.
It's a great point. A man who helps me out so much in all things technical, Stephen Turner, he asks, outside of hockey and golf, what are some of your hobbies? Or if you had the time, what would you be interested in learning more about? Becky Rice Hasty also says, what hobbies or aspirations would your fans be surprised to find out about you?
Okay, the surprise one I'll answer first. I'm a pretty quiet dude. Doesn't seem like that. I mind my P's and Q's. I hang out in my room. I play a lot of video games. I like doing puzzles, stuff like that. I took art in high school, so I like doing arts as well. There's your surprise. A lot of people don't expect that. But outside of hockey, growing up, I was a lacrosse player as well. So during the summer, I tend to coach youth box lacrosse. That's what I've been doing for the last 3 summers anyways. But I think I want to coach at some point in my life. I think once the game of hockey's done and I can't play it anymore, I have a lot of knowledge that I can give back to the youth that they would appreciate, and maybe it'd make me a good coach, maybe not. Some players don't make good coaches, but I do a pretty good job at lacrosse, so I think I do a pretty good job at hockey as well. That's right now, that's kind of what I'm gearing towards after hockey.
We'll get into that a little bit more in just a second. Sarah Jane Bork-Young wants to know, what got you into hockey in the first place? I mean, it must have been pretty easy being an Ontario guy.
Yeah, like you'd kind of think that being an Ontario kid, it's pretty easy. But my mom, she never played hockey. She was more of like a track athlete in high school and softball and slow pitch and stuff like that. And my dad played baseball and never played hockey. His parents were also like straight off the boat from Italy. So, no hockey background in my family whatsoever. It was more of a small town Aurelia thing. Aurelia is a small town. It's known for its hockey and lacrosse. And I'm assuming my dad just kind of heard about it because he grew up in Aurelia as well. Same with my mom. So they just threw me in it at the age of 3 and just took off. Just love it.
Alicia Stanford asks, how are you and the team feeling about heading into the playoffs?
I feel like we're not nervous. It's I feel like you can't get too far ahead of yourself when it comes to things like that. You got to take each game by each game. We still have the regular season to finish. We still want to finish in first place to give ourselves that little bit of an advantage. Obviously, everyone wants to finish in first. I think that's our goal right now. And then once playoffs hit, then that's kind of the reality check of like, okay, it's do or die mode. We talked about it after the game Sunday as well. It's do or die mode now. We have to start playing like that anyways. We have been playing like that. We got to show teams that you're not going to play against us and have an easy night. It's going to be difficult, and we're really excited to play bingo here.
J. Eric Hasty wants me to ask you about your coaching plans. We saw you in the suit next to Coach Marty during your injury. You talked about it a little bit earlier about your aspirations to coach. What exactly are your post-playing plans to coach for you, Michael?
I don't have like any set in stone plans. I actually retired. I quit hockey during COVID. I had a really bad concussion that kind of just veered me towards coaching. So I coached 1 year of U16 hockey in Aurelia. And we were, I think, 52-1-2 or something. And we were supposed to win, but COVID canceled the championship. So I have a fake COVID ring from coaching. I wouldn't mind adding more to my collection as a coaching standpoint. But I think in Canada, especially where I'm from, coaching isn't a huge thing. There's not a lot of growth in Canada for coaching. So I think I would like
Hate to interrupt our interview with Michael Greco early, but the Rock Lobsters are back on the ice. A reminder that all Lobster Tail interviews can be found here on the official Athens Rock Lobster YouTube page. If you haven't already, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to play a part in our world-famous chat, and ring the bell to stay notified of all future Athens Rock Lobster content, including Lobster Tails, Coaches' Corners, and, of course, future streams. The chase for the Commissioner's Cup is on, and your Athens Rock Lobsters are going to try and claw their way to glory, be part of the madness this postseason, and turn the tank into the loudest barn in the league. Don't miss your chance to witness every hit, every goal, and every game-winning moment as the Rock Lobsters battle for the ultimate prize. Postseason tickets are on sale now. Grab yours at rocklobstershockey.com today or scan the QR code on your screen now. Let's pack the tank and make some playoff magic, because in the offseason, teams are going to learn to hashtag fear the claw. Lavalier getting stretched before the start of the third period. He'll be happy that his team stayed a little bit busier shooting the puck in the second. They're now only 3 shots on goal behind. He'll also be happy that the Rock Lobsters will start this final 20 minutes of regulation up a man. Also, there's been some dangerous people that will be missing from the ice for the Binghamton Black Bears. I believe Kirkby's still serving a fighting major penalty, and Dakota Bond was ejected from the game for an illegal hit to the head on Garrett Milan. Looks like it's Ramakers who is serving the penalty for Dakota Bond, who's no longer in the game. Rock Lobsters on the power play. They'll have Glukaryov, Milan, Shinkarik, Gallant, and Weisblatt. Only one other game in the FPHL tonight. Tied scoreline at the end of the second between the Columbus River Dragons and the Monroe Moccasins. That game happening in the Monroe Civic Center in Louisiana. A little bit of a tie up here between Anderson and Weisblatt right out of the draw, but the Rock Lobsters win it and both men skate away from each other. Shinkarik, clever little move right out in front of Lavalier's net. Finds Milan on the left side, dumped in by the veteran. Gallant lets it run for Weisblatt, who tries to step through. Glukaryov out of the corner, lost a handle of it, and sent out by Anderson. 35 seconds left on the man advantage. The Rock Lobsters have one more rush out of this one. Milan dangles over the line, finds Weisblatt on the near side. Backhand sweeper all the way around, back for Milan. Shinkarik feeds Gallant in the left circle. Captain Fantastic fakes the slapper, finds Milan on the right side. Gallant, 10 seconds left on the power play. Rock Lobsters trying to get a shot through. Glukaryov. Shinkarik. Back to Glukaryov. Traffic out in front. Big save from Hapworth. Horn will blow there, and that means Virgili and Kirkby can make their way out on the ice. The Rock Lobsters had a chance to potentially tie this game with Kirkby in the penalty box. Perhaps a big opportunity missed, as one of the league's very best is back out on the ice and in the faceoff circle. Right back in action for Kirkby. He'll take the next draw. Virgili and Kirkby, after their fight, already getting tied up in the faceoff circle. Oja to Gallant, sent in by Johnson. It's going to be picked up here by Weber. Virgili tried to pin it in. It's sent right in at Hapward. Shot came in from Greco at center ice. Was off the top of the glove of Hapward and over the bar into the inboards. Johnson steps back but sends a pass up. Johnson pokes it through, but it trickles to Weber in the far corner. Gallant, great job to win it back off of Kirkby. Hapward left it. Virgili. Hapward down on his backside. Johnson so close to winning it back, but Weber got Enough force on that one to make sure it wasn't heading right back into his own zone. Weisblatt chasing down Poirier. Greco just eased Yates down to the ice there. Oja. Pass behind the net. Klukarioff to the left from Murray. Milan takes it into his stride. Milan behind the net. Was unable to settle that puck in enough time for him to direct a shot towards Hapward. Klukarioff got that puck free, was looking for Milan, couldn't find him, but he's won it back, the Russian. Milan centering pass towards Weisblatt off the skate of Stone. Binghamton can't get it out. Weisblatt here on the near side. Takes a check from Stone. That one's right into the audience from Tosto, and he'll be sitting for delay of game. That one was sent into the stands with some force. Delay a game for Tosto. As it stands, he's got the game winner in this one. Milan will start out the power play here, but you can see the perhaps aching feet there as he's been on the ice for quite some time to start this third period. Smith is now onto the man advantage unit here for the Rock Lobsters. Gallant, Milan, Virgili, and Shinkarik joining him. Face-off won by Kirkby. Stone takes the check from Smith. Gallant saves it at the line. Backhand flipper up to Virgili on the right side. Great pass back, Milan to Virgili. Puck still loose out in front. Milan tries to flip it up over Hapward, unable to do so. And Hapward out of his crease in behind to stop the clock. Rock Lobsters trying to swat at that puck in on the rookie goaltender Hapward. Exception taken by the Black Bears. Smith has the bucket off, showing the flow. I think he's got his hands on the collar of Austin Thompson there. Avery Smith, a multifaceted skater for the Athens Rock Lobsters, scored his 15th goal last night. A beautiful protection with the backhand before flipping it to the forehand right at the right time to knock a knuckleball over McAnanima. Looks like Smith will check out of the power play, and Klukarioff will check in. That Russian is a dangerous, dangerous man. Started off his first 6 games with the Rock Lobsters with no points. We were asking questions of head coach Steve Martinson if he was going to be able to transition to the North American game. 20 goals and 18 assists later, he's become one of the most valuable members of this team. Milan fires a pass toward Gallant, going from right to left. Gallant tries to return the favor. Intercepted there by Thompson. Banked off the boards in front of the 2 benches and all the way down the ice. Gallant took something up high, brought him down to a knee. If it was a high stick, it's not something the referee saw. Sent into the near corner by Anderson. Rock Lobsters, a little less than a minute here on the power play. Gallant's shot took a deflection off the blade of Dale Dion's stick. Black Bears have already proven in this game that they're dangerous shorthanded. CJ Stubbs got blocked from a short distance, then tried to feed Ramakers out in front. Kirkby trying to get in on the shorthanded party for the Black Bears. They've scored 1, but Kirkby will not score 2. One back, though, by Thompson. Shot high and wide. Johnson leaves it for Picard. 67 with 76 here. Johnson sent a pass that got lost in the skates of Picard. right in front of the penalty box. Austin Thompson back into his own zone. Athens needs to get that forecheck firing on all cylinders like it was in last night's game. A big, big reason why they were able to secure the victory. Had a 3-0 lead and a 4-1 lead at one point. The late storm back from the Black Bears made things interesting as 3 power play goals were able to make it a 1-goal game at the final whistle. We're going back to a commercial break here. It's another 1-goal game here, but this time it's the Black Bears that have the edge on the Rock Lobsters, top team in the Empire against the top team in the Continental. We'll be back with the final 15 minutes of regulation here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
The Rock Lobsters have been unable to get the power play firing in this game, and it's played a big part in the scoreline thus far. They have still yet to score a power play goal against the Binghamton Black Bears. Didn't matter much last night in a game where the Black Bears scored 3 power play goals of their own. And funny enough, we thought that the special teams might play a big part in this game, and it has. Right now, the game-winning goal is a short-handed effort scored by Blake Tosto, an early birthday gift for him as he turns 26 tomorrow. Virgili, clean face-off win. Greco off the rip. That one straight into the shin of Tosto. Don't know about that as a birthday gift. Gallant finds Johnson on the left side. Takes an awkward bounce off the blade of his stick, off the glass, chasing it into the end boards. Gets in behind on Stone. Stone gets it up the near side. Oja makes the step up, loosen in the corner, taken away by Yates. Yates has been a great stick handler, particularly in this game. Oja with a backhand feed into the skates of Virgili. Lavalier had to touch that back to the Swede. Virgili, a couple of nice little stick handling moves, was looking for Gallant right out in front of the Red Deer Rocket and into the glove of Hapward. Binghamton Black Bears had a 7-game winning streak snapped in the 4-3 loss last night. And now the only team that is making waves with their win streak right now is the Port Huron Prowlers. They have 9 wins in a row, and that's something to consider with the Rock Lobsters in a race for the top spot in the Continental Division with the Carolina Thunderbirds. The next team that Carolina will take on is the Port Huron Prowlers. A little tumble between the 2 14s on the face-off dot there, Steffen and Shinkarik. Some frustration there from Yates, rather from Clark, as he thought he was upheld there from making a run onto the puck. Robertson, big red to Picard. Backhand flipped in. That one sent in long and far by Weber. Lavalier out to play it as there's no icing call. Kolatarsi back to Robertson. One timed at the line. Popped up in front of Lavalier, taken into the end boards by Binghamton. Great centering pass, and even better pad save there from Lavalier. Believe it was Thompson there with a shot. Off the end boards from Weber. Taken away by Picard. Kirkby is able to win it back. Almost got lost in the skates of the linesman there. Long-range pass. Kirkby gets something on it. Otherwise, it was heading straight to Papa Petros. Picard lifts the stick on Stubbs. Rock Lobsters take the puck the other direction. Smith, coming off a one highlight reel goal, tries to create another there, but he was surrounded by a sea of Black Bears, and now, perhaps for the first time in this game, the Rock Lobsters have the shot on goal advantage at 33-32. Yates able to clear at the second attempt. Great little move there from Swain, and he centers a pass towards Tosto, looking for his second. Lavalier sprawled out of his crease. The Black Bears still have it. Exchange with Yates. Back towards Tosto. He just tried to get anything from his stick onto the puck, but the only effort that he could muster would take the puck out of the zone. Beautiful pass from Weisblatt to Virgili. Virgili wanted to return the favor to Weisblatt, but was unable to deliver it to him. Big hit in behind there. Stopped by Anderson at the line. Lavalier forced into the save. The Black Bears have the shot on goal advantage once again here. Virgili kind of left in no man's land. One time from Greco. He's been looking for that shot all night, but it's blocked by Steffen, who takes it the other direction. Steffen looking for the shot. Deflects to the far side. Great centering pass. Shot came in on Lavalier. Ramaker's back into the lineup tonight. He wants to make an impact with a goal, but Lavalier stops him from doing so. Great puck movement from the Black Bears in the offensive zone, but the Rock Lobsters finally are able to pop the balloon and relieve themselves of that pressure. Sent right back in by Ramakers. Hamburg, New York native who was on the broadcast last night for the Black Bears. Played out of midair by Kirkby. Took some effort for him to refine that puck. It's been a disciplined game from both teams thus far in the third period. And as we've seen, though, that can stop at any time. Kirkby gets it back. Smith had a piece of it, but it falls to Thompson, puts it off the far boards. Robertson pokes it ahead. Johnson with a diving poke check. He's able to win possession back, but no longer in a dangerous position. Kolatarsi finding some shelter in behind Lavalier's cage. Finds Robertson to his left. Rifled in by the big red machine. And that's going to be an icing against the Rock Lobsters. We're going to a commercial break here. 9 minutes and 51 seconds left. And we've also got the Sea Bear Oyster Bar Kiss Cam. Two Lobsters locking lips there. More hockey action coming up after this break.
Since 1968, we've been your trusted source for home comfort. From then to now, we've evolved, but our commitment to your comfort remains unchanged. Experience the expertise that only decades of dedicated service can provide. Trust Stanfield. We've been keeping homes comfortable for over 50 years. Your comfort, our legacy. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
Less than half of this third period to go here as the Rock Lobsters continue to search for the leveler to make it 2-2. There's not been a lot of overtime hockey for the Black Bears this year. It feels likely that if the Rock Lobsters do find the 2-2 score, that might be where we head. Still work to do on that front, though. Shinkarik loses out on the draw. Stopped by Stone at the blue line. Sent in across the end boards. Murray gets there ahead of Swain. Yates has won it back in the corner. Sent back in by Yates. Shinkarik from his trapezoid. Smith. Kolatarsi loses it to Swain. Catches Lavalier up high and into the netting. Save number 35 on the night for Lavalier. He remains a busy, busy man in this game. But the Rock Lobsters have been able to keep the shot on goal tally close in the third. Face off to the left of Lavalier. Face off won by Athens. Papa Petros through a couple of skates. Stone, right side of his own line. Murray from his knees, tried to poke it. Beautiful pad save once again from Lavalier. If the Rock Lobsters find their way back into this game, no doubt Lavalier deserves a spot in the top 3 stars of the night. Sent in by Yates. He's been at the center of everything for the Black Bears tonight. Whistled in by Poirier. There's a loose bucket to the right of Lavalier, right past the goal line. Binghamton win it back. Rock Lobsters can't clear their lines. Milan pokes it through around the end boards. Weber back in around. Weber at the line. We've got a whistle. Not sure what prompted the whistle. Both teams resuming what was going on in the second period. After every whistle, they start tying each other up. Not sure what prompted that call. I'm curious if maybe it was a hand pass that I didn't see. Either way, 8 minutes and 21 seconds left. We've seen some record-breaking numbers in the stream over the last couple of nights. No doubt that this is a matchup that fans across the FPHL have their attentions on. Oja collects the banker and sends it in. Stopped by Hapward off the end boards. Glukaryov picks it back up. Flips it back to Milan. Too many Black Bears in around Milan. They take the puck away. CJ Stubbs. Where the end boards meet the near boards. Milan sends a hard banker towards Weisblatt. But Dan Weber with a great defensive play to deprive Orca. Ooh, that one was a dangerous one. Austin Thompson off the bottom of the glove of Lavalier. That one could have gone anywhere and it was taken just wide. Milan fakes a slapper. Beautiful move. Edged off of it by the check from Stone. Glukaryov, Kolatarsi, Riley Robertson, right side of the blue line. Shot came in from Big Red. Glove save from Hapward. Athens still letting up some big-time opportunities to the Black Bears, who have reached the 40 shot on goal mark. And that's not something that many teams have done against the Rock Lobsters this year. In terms of the scoreline, though, it's being won by a whisker right now by the Black Bears. Malik Johnson Takes it off the inboards back towards the corner. Is met by 2 Binghamton players. Taken away by Yates. Lavalier calls everyone off like a fly ball. Sends it with his own goalie stick back to the blue line. Tight angle centering pass from Steffen. A little bit too much on that one as the puck finds a way out of the zone. Riley Robertson, open ice hit as the puck was poked in behind him. He gets tied up immediately, I believe, by Steffen. Open ice hit's going to be called for interference here against Robertson. Not the right time here for Athens to take a penalty, as they'll put the dangerous league-leading power play for the Black Bears back out on the ice with not a lot of time left in this game to find the leveler. Robertson into the sin bin. Doesn't appear as though Steffen will be joining him. It looks like it will be offsetting penalties, though. Not sure if Steffen knows about it yet. Steffen now heading over to the penalty box. Very, very upset. And that's a big-time call for the Athens Rock Lobsters. You'd much rather have 2 minutes on the 4-on-4 as opposed to letting the Binghamton Black Bears power play back out on the ice at this late stage of the game. There's Steffen in his home for the next 2 minutes. Again, the 4-on-4 has been a good omen for the Rock Lobsters lately. Let's see if they can make it so once again in a crucial stage of this game. Beautiful settle there at the line from Stone. Anderson up the right side. Kirkby getting hassled by Murray, but Kirkby gets loose. Shot followed up. Kirkby somehow missed after following up his own rebound on the shot on Lavalier. Here's Kirkby again. This time it's Kolatarsi who's tasked with trying to deal with Tyson. Anderson back for Stone. Stone leading the FPHL in plus minus. Out of the near side, CJ Stubbs in around. Centers it for Kirkby. Kirkby takes a push from Kolatarsi into his back. Daniel Stone. Ooh, Stone slipped at the line. He was a very lucky man to get anything on that, because if he didn't, it was Smith who would have been on a direct route towards Hapward's net. Could have easily gone wayward for Stone and the Black Bears, but that's what makes this team dangerous. They're the kind of team that get the small things right, as they look to try and even the season series between the Rock Lobsters. Minute left of 4-on-4. Glukariov couldn't get to it, but Oja could. Gets cut out there by Dale Dion. Binghamton lose a handle as possession gifted back to the Rock Lobsters, but only for a temporary amount of time. Austin Thompson, a 30-plus goal scorer in the league this year, but it's taken away from him by Oja. Milan going coast to coast, drops it back for Papapetros. Papapetros trying to drag it into his path. Rock Lobsters, in terms of their puck possession through individuals tonight, they tend to get isolated a little bit. Centering feed from Thompson, just a bit wayward, but recollected by Dale Dion. Both teams will be back at even strength. Sent out. That one took the top of the glass, but stays in play. Greco to Johnson in front of his own bench. Philip Virgili has Kason Gallant on the near side. Tries to find him. Great read there by Stone. Malik Johnson pokes it back into possession for Athens. Loose touch there from Blake Tosto. Creates a window of opportunity for the Rock Lobsters. Big hit in behind. Johnson on Stone, but Stone keeps the puck. Big frame of Stone. He's a dangerous man. Greco looking for the laser once again. This time misses high. Here comes Swain. Entering in on the right past Shinkarik. Shinkarik tries to win that short-term battle with a hit. Takes the puck away. We're reaching the 17-minute mark of this third period as the Rock Lobsters have 3 minutes to find a goal. Banked back into the neutral zone from Poirier. Kirkby, the danger man, lost possession on the pass, got it back, tried to fire a shot, fired it wide. Kirkby with a reverse hit. Keeps possession with him. Puck loose out in front. Black Bears with a backhand shot through Thompson, and the Black Bears have their dagger. Austin Thompson, goal number 35 on the year. That'll put him into the top three. Still time in this game to make something happen, but with the great defense that the Black Bears have played tonight, it's going to be a tough task for Athens, and it doubles in difficulty after the 3-1 goal from Thompson. Scoreline remains. This will take the Binghamton Black Bears to 137 points on the year. Perhaps more importantly, though, it will give the Carolina Thunderbirds the potential to get the top spot back in the Continental Division. Lukaryov fires in behind. There's always going to be a tough task. Murray wants it from Gallant. Gets blocked out by Ramakers, and it's out of play. There's always going to be a tough task for a first-year program in the Athens Rock Lobsters to go up against the reigning Commissioner's Cup champions and beat them in 2 straight games. But the Athens Rock Lobsters, they gave themselves a chance in this game after securing the big win in last night's contest. The question is, with what remains, can they still find a way to tie this game up and potentially find the winner? With 2 minutes and 4 seconds left, it will take 2 goals, and then at that point, it will take overtime for Athens to take one off of the Black Bears. Taking a look at the overtime record for Binghamton, they have only made it to free hockey 6 times, and they are 5-1 after regulation. Again, I feel like this is just a preview of just how entertaining a playoff series will be between these two teams. The fans aren't giving up on Athens, not by a long shot. The question will be, in Athens fans, Binghamton fans, and fans around the FPHL, are these two teams that are destined to meet again this season? Only time will tell. Milan with the face-off win. He broke his stick in the process. Skates over the puck on the pass from Murray to Shinkarik. Gallant with a backhand in around. Glukaryov tries to get up there and get it as the Rock Lobsters have emptied the net here. Fired from their own zone. Thompson has his second. And if the points weren't secured for the Black Bears before, they are now. Unlucky they are on the face-off draw that was won by Milan. He breaks his stick, and then immediately that man advantage that you have from the empty net is immediately nullified. But also it takes a big effort to be able to nail that kind of shot from that kind of distance. Thompson is that kind of guy, and now he'll be tied for second in the FPHL in goals with Garrett Milan. That's number 36 on the year. Milan also scored number 36 in this game. Looks like we've got a timeout here late on. We're going to take a commercial break. 1 minute and 45 seconds left in regulation. The Black Bears potentially with a dagger on the empty net through Thompson.
When you're the Athens Rock Lobsters' biggest enforcer, life can get pretty messy. That's when Justin Portillo calls Crawford Laundry. Justin Portillo only trusts Crawford Laundry to get his toughest game day stains out in plenty of time for the next one.
Timeout over in Akins Ford. Last loss for the Rock Lobsters came back on March 20th against Monroe. Have been 9 out of their last 10 that they've won. Looks like the Rock Lobsters will have a power play late on as they try to build on something into the next game. This 2-game set has had the makings and is everything what has been advertised as having the two best teams in the FPHL going against one another. The Rock Lobsters 0 for 5 on the power play on the night, and that'll be a big part of the narrative of this game. Didn't have anything to do really with last night. Greco looking for a tip out in front. Weisblatt got something to it, but it's wide of Hapward. Greco plays it with the hands, then plays it with the stick up to Weisblatt. Weisblatt centering pass in towards Smith. Smith, left circle, fires high. Murray stops it on the right side of the line. Smith gets the centering feed from Weisblatt, who plays it back down that popped up on him. Murray tries to drag it past Steffen there. Johnson, banker to Murray. Blocked out from a short range. Smith takes it off of Anderson, though, in the right circle. That one was a fly ball set to land in the crease. Greco with another laser, another pad save from Hapward. Black Bears able to get it out of the Rock Lobsters offensive zone. Weisblatt exchanging with Glukaryov. Greco. Weisblatt. Great pass out in front, and then Glukaryov rings one off the bar. Just that kind of night for the Rock Lobsters. We'll wait to see who the 3 stars of the night are. Attendance in the arena tonight on the Thursday night game, 3,810. Glukaryov tries to take the face-off with him. Gallant can't fire off the shot. Dan Weber sends it in towards Lavalier. The Rock Lobsters did it once, but a team with top-notch talent in the Binghamton Black Bears make sure they don't do it twice. The Binghamton Black Bears were able to take a 2-0 lead in this one, and there was hope that the Rock Lobsters were going to be able to fire back after Garrett Milan was able to make it a 2-1 game, following up the first period openers from Gavin Yates and the shorthanded goal from Blake Tosto. But 2 late goals from Austin Thompson in the third period secured the points for the Binghamton Black Bears, as they will split the series with the Athens Rock Lobsters. 3 stars about to get announced here at Akins Ford Arena. I get them sent to me. We'll take you through them here. 3rd star of the night will go to Blake Tosto. Early birthday gift for him. He celebrates his 26th tomorrow. Tosto with a goal ended up being the game winner on the shorthand. Then Garrett Milan will be 2nd star of the night. He gave the Rock Lobsters and Crustacean Nation hope with his goal that gave him 36 total notches on the year and 98 total points. He remains on the chase for the century mark. Then Austin Thompson. He made sure that the spoils were going the way of the team from up north. 2 goals and an assist for Thompson. He is now tied for 2nd in the FPHL with Garrett Milan. Of course, number 1 on that list is Kason Gallant. No goals for him tonight, but after the hat trick last night, leads the league with 38 in his campaign. Well, look, it's easy to feel sorrowful because this was a team that the Rock Lobsters beat last night. They had the taste of victory against the very best that the FPHL has to offer, looking back from last year and the ring that they won. The Rock Lobsters were able to do it once, and that's something that not a lot of teams in the FPHL can say, and only one other team in the Continental Division can say. The Rock Lobsters with the 4-3 win last night, but they fall 4-1 last night. Let's take a quick look back at that scoreline that's going down in Monroe. Still a 3-3 game there, as they're about 5 minutes into the third period. Goal scored by Storjahan to make it 1-0. Hugo Koch, Corey Cunningham to take a 2-1 lead for the Moccasins. Storjahan with his 2nd of the night would be followed up by Jemayev in the 2nd to make it 3-2, and then Yanni Liriakos, the late season addition for the Monroe Moccasins, to tie it up at 3. That game still looking for a winner. Perhaps the biggest thing to take out of this game is now the Carolina Thunderbirds will have the opportunity to leapfrog the Athens Rock Lobsters in the Continental Division standings, but something to keep in mind that the hottest team in the FPHL right now, a 9-game winning streak against the Port Huron Prowlers, will be the Carolina Thunderbirds' next test. For all of you that tuned in, whether it was Rock Lobster fans, Binghamton Black Bear fans, I think we got a lot of attention from around the FPHL as well. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to play a part in our chat, and also ring the bell to stay notified of all future Athens Rock Lobster content. It was a record-breaking midweek series for us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. It wouldn't be possible without you. The Athens Rock Lobsters have finished off their home account here at Akins Ford Arena, but there is still playoff games to come, people. We're seeing the interview there with Carter Shinkarik. The chase for the Commissioner's Cup is soon to commence, and your Athens Rock Lobsters are going to try and claw their way to glory. Be part of the madness this postseason and turn the tank into the loudest barn in the league. You don't want to miss your chance to witness every hit, every goal, and every game-winning moment as the Rock Lobsters will battle for the ultimate prize. Postseason tickets are on sale now. Grab yours at rocklobstershockey.com today, or take out your phone and scan this QR code. Let's pack the tank and make some playoff magic, because in the offseason, teams are going to learn to hashtag Fear the Claw. Well, fans, thank you so much again for this absolutely blistering 2-game set against the Binghamton Black Bears. The Rock Lobsters were able to edge them out in Game 1. They fall a little bit short of the mark in Game 2 with the 4-1 loss. They will close out their regular season next weekend here in the Peach State, but not here in Athens. They will travel to Columbus to take on the River Dragons. One game happening Friday the 11th. Puck drops at 7:35. And then the next night at 7:05, both of those games in the Columbus Civic Center. We will bring them to you here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. For all of you that tuned in tonight, thank you so much for doing so. The Athens Rock Lobsters fall to the Binghamton Black Bears 4-1. We'll see